Okay, so we were in the ground. We had fallen through the ground, right? And so I have my first note here. It starts with up ahead in a passage because we had just cleared out those buggies, right? And the thirsty centipedes. So we hear some voices and there's a crackling fire, and there is there's a half elf lady. I almost called her a half lady, with long brown hair with a silver streak in it, and she has an injured Loxodon with her. The Loxodon looks like he was poisoned by a creature, which is all that our medicine checks got. But Beacon's able to heal him, so it's fine. And they tell us that there were actually originally 4 of them. There was Deimos, there was Ceres, there was an automaton guide. Then there was the half elf whose name is Gwen, and the Loxodon's name is Lina O'Shea. And they were sent down there to find an ancient scroll, and apparently there's more of these spread over the land. That one of them was said to be located below the guild. And Rykard is like, oh, we have that. And tried to give it to Lina, but apparently Lina's like not in good standing with the guild, so I think Rykard held onto it for the moment. And so then we headed down a path that the automaton went down to try and find the way out. And I wrote here, pitch black and slopping gross noises. And we enter into a large hollowed out space that was either carved or tunneled, and there's a noxious pool of liquid in the center with the banged up automata floating face down. And there's a crack in the ceiling with water dripping in the pool from it. And there's 2 Bulette puppies, and they attack us, but it's okay because we're able to distract them away. And then Beacon, Strongman, heaves the automata out of the water, which then just walks back like nothing happened. And then the puppies are distracted, so we don't have to hurt the puppies. Then we walk back. We rush back after the automata to where we had left the other group. Before we do that, after we get back there, sorry. Rowan identifies the pink gem that we picked up, and it's a mind crystal of careful spell. But as he casts, pink arcane tendrils vein out on the ground around him, kind of like the froggies. And then Boone stops him because has to defuse the bomb. And then Lina fixes the automata for us, and we follow it out, and a chunk of stone is peeled away from the cave, and then I have here Baz with like 5 exclamation marks and a bunch of hearts, and then in parentheses I wrote, and Magnus. And the ground's all torn up, and the square's a fucked up mess, almost as if the land itself attacked. And then Lina tells Baz that we helped. It was no big deal. And then Ceres and Deimos are also like still missing. But you know, whatever. And so there's a makeshift triage set up behind the stage for the other survivors. But most people seem fine. Magnus is blocking people from leaving the town because he's fake. There's a pyromaniac lady and a pale, tall man with long black hair who has a weird, magnetic presence. So Rowan's starstruck and introduces himself to Baz. And then he geeks out about the SS and tells Baz where Griffo and the gang are trapped, and then Baz sends some help in to get them and recommends that we get some rest too, and we'll talk more about the guilds in the morning. So Alex talks with the Yuanti from the Free Irons, who's an aspiring thief who's now decided to get gone, because he's like, fuck this, actually, I didn't want to die. Beacon maybe helps a man, and Rykard meets up with Greymore again. And then Rowan and Boone find a lemur monkey bat thing who tells Rowan that all the noise and festivity is what disturbed the Bulettes and the other beings into attacking. And apparently this happens every year, and this is actually the admission trial, which is why all the boats were like hanging back on the shore. And also the monkey's name is Bionitis. So the black-haired man gives a speech to the initiates. Yeah. He doesn't say anything, but he doesn't say anything to us, but Boone takes notice that he has taken a special notice of our group. And in everyone's hand, there's a rod with the Brave Hollow insignia. And if they wish to stay, they must just activate the rod, which then erupts into a plume of bright colored light. So a smoke extends and swirls around each of us, and we are somewhere new, because apparently we were standing in illusion the entire time, which was Magnus's, and then he does like the Pixar smirk in the corner and like, you know, curls his hair behind his ear because he was Radio Rebel. But we're up on a hill now, and there's massive volcanic mountains around. There's lava fields, there's a lush forest, there's these tall star arches stretching to the sky, there's the coast, there's these like black spires, kind of like that mosaic that we found, right, guys? And then also Griffo, Brownlock, Illyria, and Greymore are there, and only about 20 of the 100-ish candidates are still there that decided to stay. And then Jimmy / the other name, the Hobgoblin, walks up again and shifts because he's actually a changeling. Surprise! And has his legs, so I don't know where that one came from. But the black-haired man introduces himself. His name is William Bennett Everson, and he is the co-captain of Liar Song, with the changeling whose name is Isaiah Nils. There's How Yu Yin Fen is the captain of Deadwood, along with a lady from Caerillon named Layette Erstrand. And then Baz and Magnus are double teaming the, co-captaining Vermilion Crest. And so Captain William leads us down a guarded walkway to the barracks where there's like food and lodging and stuff, the dorms, you know. There's a large half-orc standing there bearing multiple quests. And then Rowan identifies our Dark Shard amulet, which is only for warlocks, and then tries to offer it to Rykard, but Rykard... Anyway, there's a lot more amenities there than people. It seems like they were prepared for a much larger student capacity or guild member capacity than actually is balls enough to be there. But we each have a chest, and in the chest is magic fabric of our order uniforms, all 3 of the order uniforms, for whichever one we so choose. There's cozy beds, and Rykard immediately stacks 2 mattresses on them for maximum comfiness, and then Boone drops on him all of the extra pillows and blankets from her bed. And then Rykard also asks Boone about his familiar, Russell, and a wooden board appears at the foot of the fountain, but it's empty, but it seems like a quest board. And as Rykard walks up to it, it's actually magic, and 2 quests show up, Poisoned Spring or Blocked Dam, so obviously we take the dam. And he shows it to Beacon, who sees it written in Infernal, even though Rykard sees it in Common. And it only says Blocked Dam. And then he invites all of us to a team, some with more enthusiasm than others. And then I wrote here as another note, he's a stinky man, frowny face. And that's the end of my recap. Yay!
All right, were there any additional details that anyone wanted to add?
I gave the scroll to Gwen, I think, on our way out of the tunnel.
Yeah. Yes, the scroll
Just-
that you had found down in there.
Yeah, because Gwen and the Lexodon guy, I don't remember his name. That's what they came down for originally, I think.
Lina!
Why not? My bad.
You should be. Triage.
Wait, how did you say triage?
She said try.
It's pronounced like kill
Triage.
yourself.
Oh,
I've
Which
actually
it
heard
looks like-
that pronounced both ways.
Yeah, I've always heard it, like, and this isn't an instance of me reading it and mispronouncing it in my head. It's like, I've heard people say triage. That's what it's called in a hospital, because there's a triage wing.
Triage.
Yeah, but it's called triage.
in Canada at least.
Hold on. Triage
I've always said triage.
It
but
might.
Yeah, it's triage.
I learned that word from Wizard 101. Yeah.
See, I feel like that is even worse than mispronouncing it.
Could
He's
just
like,
be a
"Got it right."
regional thing. Vic, how do you say it?
Yeah.
I say triage, but I've heard it both ways.
See?
If I'm being 100.
Fair enough.
Here, let me ask Becca, since she's the smartest
Yeah.
person.
I mean, I've also heard archipelago,
You're in right
but
now.
we don't talk about that one anymore.
Here, hold on. Becca? How do you pronounce this word? She says triage. See, I said triage, and they're bullying me because they said it's triage.
I mean, 2 people can be wrong.
Yeah, multiple people can be incorrect.
Me when Canada.
No, I feel like that is one of those weird
Spell
words.
color. Spell color.
Yeah. It has a U in it, and you know it.
Wrong.
All right, any other details anyone wants to add to the recap?
I'm good.
I'd like to add that Illyria, actually, I'm not going to say anything.
Is Illyria the one that's like super long hair?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
the bully.
The fatty with the fatty? Yes.
Yeah, she was really into
Yeah.
Rykard. I do want to add that.
No, 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 no.
I do remember that. Now that he
Teacher,
brings
he's
it
telling
up.
lies. Give him
She was like
detention.
really into him. Like Rykard was bathing and she came over and yeah.
Don't
And
trigger
she did what? Finish the thought.
No, I can go ahead.
him.
Come on.
No.
You know, keep it rolling.
Isn't Rykard like 30?
Oh,
29.
You don't know how old she is.
True.
Not 30.
She's probably like
She's
an
no,
elf.
she's
yeah.
probably way older.
like 300.
Yeah.
And so am I.
So how about you fuck off?
If
Thank you.
she's
Keep
30,
going.
I'm 30 actually.
Oh, wait. Oh, that's problematic.
You're whatever age you have to be for it to be okay.
Can somebody quote that? Somebody timestamp that, please.
Somebody clip that.
Chris, that's on you.
10 minutes,
I
7
stand on
seconds.
I stand on it. Because
Yeah,
you know
but-
why? Because you know why? I will do anything for my woman, unlike this guy over here. Craig, you can
All
talk.
right. Anyways, check with that.
Yeah, maybe something to add is that Brownlock, Riffo, Greymore, and Illyria seem to have started to form like a bit of a group of their
Oh, yeah.
own.
Mhm.
Illyria went up and she seemed to retrieve a quest from that board. And
They got our slappy seconds.
Correct.
yeah, well, maybe you're not entirely sure how it works, but she did go back to that group, and they seem to have started to form almost a party of their own.
It's Illyria, Griffo, Brownlock, and Greymore, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And we should. I don't know if it's probably not important, but we did see Greymore kind of like getting his equipment ready, and it seems like he has some sort of a handheld cannon of some sort.
Oh
It's a Glock, right?
Oh,
That's
Yeah.
what that-
You Americans would never be
He
familiar
has
with
the
that
Dog Tech
device.
Blaster.
Not sure what that is.
The Dog Tech
Some sort of
Blaster.
anti-aircraft, weaponry. But
Kind of ground-to-air missile.
yeah. So yeah.
If you open the OneNote, Chris, it's written there. It's 2 O's.
Oh, okay. Thank you. They're the enemy
I
B
spelled it with an
team.
A because I'm not loyal to a monarchy.
Maybe we spell it with an E over here. It's giving. I actually don't know why. I don't know. I switch.
You're
I think
switch.
in
I'm
in
switching.
British English it's
With an
or
E,
the
I think.
Queen's English it's an E, and I think in the States
It's
it's
an
an
E.
A.
You
I
can
think I
remember it
always
by
do.
E for England and A for America. That's how you can remember.
Oh.
I think I always end up
That's what
doing
I
E,
just
which
said.
is weird.
It doesn't make sense. If
I
I'm talking
say
about the color
A
gray, I
because
use
it's
E, but if I'm
gray,
talking about
not
gray
gray.
hair, I use A.
All right. So, as you all have gone down for your rest for the evening, you awake to a new day on the 46th of Marrow or the 16th of Primus Heart, depending on where you are in the world or where you were raised and the way that you sort of address it. And this morning, you all find yourselves awoken a little bit abruptly at an early point in the morning. A clamoring bell is being rung, and the smell of very savory and delicious foods wafts through the air of the barracks. The cold stone sort of space has a little bit of light filtering through tiny slit windows. It provides more than enough light to the whole space where it feels quite natural and light, but at the same time, there's still a little bit of a darkness. There are torches and braziers that are lit throughout the space, which give it a bit of a homey feel as you all awaken. The loud clanging that awakes each of you is a hand-rung bell being held by a rather large-looking orcish individual. They have deep brown sort of stubble, slightly longer hair that's sort of pushed back in a way that looks almost wolfy and quite unkempt, but at the same time quite flattering. That half-orc is wearing very elaborate-looking, almost military-like fatigues. However, they have the key sort of coloration of the Deadwood Order upon them. The clothes are sort of slightly open and airy, but at the same time, again, quite militaristic in their creation, in their shape. This half-orc is ringing that bell, and you can see that someone coming in around them are a bunch of little mushroom-looking creatures, and held aloft on the mushroom sort of toadstool-capped heads are trays upon trays of food. You hear the half-orc sort of clear their throat quite loudly and speak out to the space. All right, wake up, wake up. Day's breaking, lots of sunlight now. Wake on up. A few people sort of wake bleary-eyed, rubbing their eyes, sort of snapping out of it. There's a lizard folk individual who is sort of lying back, kicking at their sort of frills in their sleep. They sort of jump up like a startled cat before calming down a little bit. As each of you awake, how does the morning find each of you? This abrupt awakening.
I think Rowan kind of wakes up a little startled. I don't think he had even really been properly trying to go to sleep. He's kind of slumped there on his bed, kind of one arm laying off with his book kind of open on top of his face. And he just startles and jolts up and start to look around and to get his things ready.
Deacon will also like kind of wake up with a start, like being surprised by this bell. Kind of realizing, oh, it's time to wake up, and definitely smelling the trays of food. He kind of gets up, stretches, and starts getting ready for the day. Feeling pretty excited about his first day at Brave Hollow.
Boone will sit up, kind of unstick her mouth a couple times, brush back the strands of hair that are kind of sweat glued to her forehead, kind of just look expectantly around the room, see what's going on.
I feel like Alex is probably just completely knocked out. Doesn't even stir when the bell is rung. Probably need a bit more like encouragement to get up, but probably would eventually and start to get his things ready, taking out the uniform that we found, and yeah, just getting stuff ready. True.
Rykard's a pretty slow riser. His eyes open, but he doesn't move for a little bit. And then he swings his legs over to the side of the bed, and you hear both of his knees pop. And he kind of leans over. You think he's deep in thought, but in reality, there's nothing going on inside his head at all. Takes a second to gather himself before trying to reach into his bag for early morning cigarette, but at the presence of food, you see kind of perks up a little bit and gets his shoes on to head over, get some food.
The sort of quite tall half-orc appears to have sort of like these quite rippling musculature and a bit of an intimidating physique. As each of you get up and slowly start to move or hop up quickly, he sort of takes a very ascertaining look over each of you, as though sizing up not only your group specifically, but all of the initiates who are present here. Rykard, a creature that you would probably recognize to be a myconid, having some knowledge of strange creatures. There's a lot of them in the different places that you found yourself over the course of your life. A very tame-looking, blue, sort of mushroom-capped myconid sort of totters its way in your direction, and set upon its head on a wooden tray, you can see that there are a bunch of small, little, almost egg-shaped little pastries that are set upon this Myconid's tray. You can see that the Myconid, as it totters over, sort of like does a little excited almost jump as it reaches you, almost gesturing in a way for you to grab some of the food.
Yeah, I mean, pretty instantly, he's excited to eat. He'll grab some food and instantly start tearing it up. For anybody that's looking, I don't know if anybody is. You notice when he's chomping away, his teeth are just a little bit sharper than maybe his average, the average person. Just something you might notice if you're looking really close. Yeah. Before he probably mumbles out a thank you in his raspy morning voice.
The Myconid sort of doesn't really respond, but totters away from you once you've grabbed your fill. Other little Myconid-like creatures move their way throughout the space, similarly betrayed, I was gonna say betrayed as in like bedraggled or like having a tray, but that makes it sound like they're about to betray you. They all have trays.
Stab it in the back.
And
Mike
we're
and Close
poisoned.
Steve pulls out a
And then they
knife.
kill you. So the Myconids spread out throughout the space, and they pass out food to all the people that are kept within the barracks now. Even those who are slow to wake have these colorful little toadstool-looking Myconids rush on over to them and offer up food. The half-orc sort of clears his throat as you all finally grab your food, and he says, "I don't have all day. Now hurry up, hurry up. Every round of new initiates gets a little bit slower. Come on, come on. Line up, line up." And he sort of gestures in front of him. You all notice that very quickly, sort of grabbing his large pack, Griffo the halfling quickly rushes on over to be the first to line up.
As soon as Beacon gets on the uniform, he's gonna gesture to Alex like, "Let's go," and just urge him to like get up, let's go, get in line.
Yeah, I'm trying to get in there before Illyria does.
Okay. Alex, since you're trying to beat out Illyria, who you can see, she's sort of like piling her long hair up into like a really, really messy, just like updo really fast, just kind of pile it all up on her head. As you try to like rush ahead, you're able to beat her out quite easily, as she's not really in a rush. She has this sort of like cat-like grace and this very like lackadaisical attitude when it comes to this, even when the half-orc starts sort of snapping for people to hurry up and line up in front of him. She's not very rushed. Aside from that, the rest of you, as you're sort of getting up yourselves, you can see that Greymore, quite similarly, is very slow to get up. As each of you grab food and I'm assuming go to line up, the orc speaks up once again and says, "My name is Lucan Zeranovis. I'm the chapter captain of the Isle of Cravensbone. Should you continue on with the order in the future, you'll be seeing a good amount of me around this island. But for now, we want to see if you all have the mettle, the drive, and, well, the actual ability to complete the tasks laid out before you. Now, I am under the impression that a lot of you may be unaware of exactly how things operate within our organization." And he sort of begins to pace back and forth in front of the line of folks. He has this very like rigid sort of stature, and as he walks, it's clear to I'll say beacon, that he's got some sort of military background. You've seen a lot of people sort of hold themselves with a certain air before beacon, and the march that he takes as he walks back and forth really reminds you of some of the more militaristic people that you've encountered in your life. In general, within Brave Hollow, some people stay here on the Isle of Craven's Bone, but as I'm sure you all are aware, we have agents, Hollow, all throughout Celebrine. People within our order don't operate without some sort of oversight. And that's where folks like me, chapter captains, and he sort of points a large, sharp, clawed almost thumb back towards his chest. Chapter captains like me come in. We're your overseers, the ones who hand out quests, hints, pieces of gossip and information that may be of interest to you out in the world. I manage our chapter, the largest one, here on the Isle of Craven's Bone, which means I am in charge of every single one of you. He sort of points a finger at each of the people on the line, as well as people who are actually within the order now. Now, you all find yourselves as initiates. You are not quite hollow as of yet. You're not pledged to a specific order, specific ideals. And that's all right. For now, think of it as a way for you to see what you really want to do, how you want to approach things, and what really interests you. Now, last night, as you all came in here, you likely saw me setting up that board over there. He sort of points in the direction of the board that Brightcard had approached. Now, each of you would have seen something different listed upon that board. 2 options of different tasks that need doing around this island. Whichever one you chose will be entrusted to you now. It's your responsibility until it's done or until you're done. Now, most of you will have formed little groups. Remember, you're always stronger in a group of people than you are by yourself. If you chose to grab one of those tasks by yourself, now, that's alright too. But just consider, will you be able to take that on by yourself? Or are you willing to trust someone else to watch your back? Now, regardless, I brought some supplies here. Little things that may assist you in whatever task it is that you chose. There's a few rules we have for these tasks. And as he's about to go on talking, you all see a lizard folk individual raises up their hand and sort of flicks out their tongue. They have very green sort of skin, and they have frills at the side of their jowls and a long series of spikes that go from the top of their skull all the way down to their tail. They sort of flick out their tongue and wave a hand, cutting Lucan off as he sort of raises an eyebrow towards the lizard folk. The lizard folk says,
I was under the impression that we would be moving a little further forward at this point. Have we not already proven that we want to be in this society? After all,
and Lucan sort of raises a hand and sort of gently cuts off the person and says, now listen, you don't join Brave Hollow just for the sake of saying that you're part of our order. Fundamentally, at the core of it is acts of service. Service to the world around us, to make things better and more peaceful, more prosperous, and more knowledgeable. Now, if you're not willing to take on a task already, maybe this isn't for you. The lizard folk seems to almost like shrink a little bit under that. Now, don't worry, I'm not throwing you deep into the ocean right off the bat. I would be a piss poor teacher if I were to toss you into the maws of monsters and various things without a little bit of help first. You are on a slightly more safe section of this isle. You'll notice, once you're back outside, walls. Tall walls that seal off landing. That's the port city you just came from. And a little bit of this area from the rest of the island. Does anyone know why that is? And he sort of turns and looks expectantly to the entire group of initiates.
Do I know why that is?
Go ahead and roll a history check.
What exactly was his question again?
I don't even
He
remember
said-
the question. 22, I know the question!
Busy
So-
looking at his hands.
What he said is that on this island, there is a wall. And if you go outside, you'll see it a bit more clearly. He said, why do you think that wall's there? Or do you know why that wall is there?
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
All right, Elixios, immediately coming to your mind, you've heard stories of these creatures called archaics that live on the island. They're massive, basically like the size of a mountain, almost like titans that wander around, and they can sort of cause a lot of havoc. But there's something else you've heard, only rumors about, Alex. Obviously, you've never been to Cravensbone before, but you've read somewhere over the course of your education and through your own investigations that the island of Cravensbone reorganizes itself every day, meaning that landmarks that may be there one day vanish, or like forests or whole mountains will just change. They may be there one day and they might be gone the next, with the exception of star arches and what is called Verilith's Wall. It is one of the only landmarks that never moves, and it's believed that it's because of powerful enchantments by the founder of Brave Hollow that sort of seal off the little town of Landing from the rest of the island, keeping it safe from this massive, ever-shifting, sort of chaotic nature of the island.
Okay, then I will immediately say it is because of the archaics that are here, and Verilus Wall is present to protect the town from the ever-changing landscape of Cravensbone.
The half-orc, who hadn't really been looking in your direction, Alex, sort of looks your way, and you can see like an intensity in his amber eye. And then a little bit of a smile sort of cracks at the corner of his mouth, and you can see the touch of tusk as he gives an affirmative nod. Well put. What's your name, initiate?
Elixios, Valoran.
He sort of tips. He's got like this almost. Sorry, I'm struggling to think of the word here. He sort of gives a nod of his head in your direction, Alex, as you say that, and says, well, y'all stand and learn a little something from this Elixios here. Do a little bit of research about the place that you're going. Now, that wall does keep the town of Landing safe from the rest of the island, but it'll also serve to keep all of you safe from some of the more extreme parts of the island, for now, anyhow. Don't worry, you'll have plenty of time to get to see the rest of Cravensbone. But for now, we're starting you out nice and easy. So, as I mentioned before, most of you, if not all of you, should have grabbed a task from that board. Your task will all be on this side of the wall, so don't go trying to climb it, scramble it, fly over it, or what have you. Not until you're ready. And trust me, he gives like another sort of look over the group. You're not ready just yet. Now, as each of you have grabbed task, or should be in a group that has a task, you can come and get a few more details about your exact task for me in just a moment here. As I said before, I also have supplies, rations, water, rope, and a few other things up here for you to grab should you need them. The one thing is, he sort of gives a bit of a smile. Whatever task you grabbed, you may not be the only one trying to do it. It is of the utmost importance that our initiates are effective, quick, and are able to follow their specific ethos of the order that they intend to join. So, don't hesitate. Don't wait. Don't hang around in the barracks thinking that I won't catch you. If you want to be in Brave Hollow, you need to want it. Now, he sort of clears his throat a little bit and says, each of you should have some fabric in your chest there. As initiates, you're welcome to wear a little bit of a uniform for now. Now, granted, once you join your order, you can change up how it looks. The awesome thing about this is that this enchanted fabric allows you to envision whatever uniform you would like to wear. So, get yourselves all suited up. Come meet me outside when you're ready to go. Give you a few more details about what you're actually setting out to do. And once that's all done, you'll hit the road for the first time. Once you've completed your task, come on back here, where I'll be waiting for you. And just to make sure that you did your task properly, grab some sort of token or something of the like, just to make sure that I can check up on how you did. Any questions?
No.
No, Alex shakes his head.
Rykard blinks slowly.
Rowan raises
I'm
his
eating my
hand.
breakfast.
Lucan sort of turns to you, Rowan, and gives you a nod, waiting for your question.
So, you said the entire island reshapes itself at night, or what time does that happen? What happens out there?
He sort of gives a look over you and gives a slight nod and says, now that's a good question. One of the pieces of interest for a lot of members of the Vermilion Crest, as well as for my order, Deadwood, is figuring out the specifics of how this island operates and why it changes and how. The Vermilion Crest, now they're trying to find the patterns in how it operates, frequency and numeracy and all that. Whereas I'm more interested in the environs themselves. Now, is there a specific pattern? Is it predictable? I can't speak to that. But it's typically at night, sometimes during the day. Sometimes you'll be the unlucky hollow who's out there, and then the ground underneath you suddenly turns to lava. Or you'll be going through some treetops, trying to find a local lemur that you can speak to, and suddenly the trees start turning to solid iron, and a black city springs out of the ground underneath you. It's hard to say when it'll change, but we know that it always does.
Is it different every time it changes, or are there like similar or repeating structures or places?
You see, as you ask the question, some of the other people around you are like quickly scrambling to get their uniforms on. Some people seem to excitedly be getting ready to grab their equipment. He sort of gives you a look, Rowan, and says, "What's your name, kid?"
I'm Rowan. Nice to meet you. It's great to be here.
He sort of reaches out and gives you with his like massive sort of hand, a solid handshake, and he says, "You got a curious mind. What order were you looking to join, Rowan?"
Yours or the one you were part of, Deadwood, I think.
He gives a solid nod. We need more curious minds in Deadwood. A lot of them tend to go over to Vermilion Crest trying to find the answers to the universe and everything, but if you're interested, maybe assuming that you're able to get on through this, maybe we can talk a little bit about it. Sound good, Rowan?
Sounds perfect. Thank you.
Very well. All right. He sort of looks around. Any other questions? No? All right. I'll meet all of you whippersnappers outside. Now hurry up. Like I said, we're already losing daylight. And he sort of turns on his heel and walks out of the barracks to the outside.
Rowan will try to
Harry,
Uh,
what's for breakfast?
So, as I mentioned before, the little myconids were carrying around seem to be almost like little bird egg or like quail eggs that were actually made out of like pastry.
Oh.
They
Oh,
are
I'm putting those in
savory
my mouth.
and they taste kind of like if you were to like have to try to describe it, it kind of tastes like a super cheesy like scone or like something to that effect.
Okay.
Ooh.
Sounds good.
I got mozzie sticks in this bitch.
Rowan will try to hurriedly eat a couple, and then I'm just starting to tug on my uniform as quickly as I can and get ready to get out the door.
Yeah, what do the initiate uniforms look like?
So, as described to you by Lucan, what you have is fabric that when you hold it, it will make itself look how you want it to. The only thing is that it comes in certain colorways, like it's like white, gray, silvery. So its actual appearance you get to determine.
Oh.
Are we just changing a big open room, or is there places to go?
Some people are, but as you can recall from the day before, Rykard, there are like private spaces as well. When you approach the walls, like
Here's,
private bathing spaces and stuff. Griffo sort of pulls his fabric over his head, and then it forms almost like a hood over the clothes that he was already wearing. His sort of more homely, almost like a peasantish shirt with like a worn vest and some slacks. You can see beside him, Greymore sort of wraps the fabric around himself, and the sort of like leathery duster that he was wearing, it changes color to match the colorway of the fabric. Illyria is still busy piling her hair up on her head. You can also see that that lizard folk that had been speaking seems confused as to like how to, or really what way that they should put on the fabric. They ended up just wrapping it around their waist, where almost like a the colors sort of change, and they're now wearing like a long cloth. There's a few other people within the space. They're all quickly getting dressed, but quite noticeably, you can all see that a lot of them seem to be quite eager to leave, and they're sort of picking up the pace. The little gnome that you had all seen, or a few of you'd seen the other day, Brownlock, quickly runs over to a myconid and grabs like all the pastries off of its tray, and then begins running to the front door, eager to get going.
We should hurry up to make sure we get the best gear.
Yes, I agree.
I'm already putting on the uniform, making sure we got everything.
What does yours look like?
What does mine look like? Well, hold on just one second. Let me pull up the art. So I think it is like, it's probably like similar to the one from the art, right? That seems like to be the generic uniforms.
That's what mine's looking
So,
like.
well, oh, I don't know. Yeah, I didn't really think too much about the description. So I guess when Alexios puts on his uniform, it kind of shapes itself around him, so that way it looks more like a robe that kind of goes down to his knees, with these like deep pockets, kind of to tuck away the notebooks that he carries with him. Is it just a robe that's part of the uniform,
So
or are
again,
there like other things?
it's fabric
Or fabric?
that
Fabric.
like
Okay.
when you envision what you want it to look like, it modifies itself magically
Oh,
to
okay.
match what you want it to look like.
Oh, okay. Great. Okay. Yeah, so it kind of looks a little bit similar in style to what you saw him wearing before, like one of those long jackets. There's also a pair of boots as well that come with it. The boots are embroidered with like probably various like artistic designs and patterns that are common in Clofjord. Basically, what I'm imagining is like very high and snug, like Valenki boots, if you're familiar with those, without quite so much fur. Around the waist, there's also like a chain belt with patterns of crescent moon and a sun dangling off some chains. There are like his arcane focus, maybe like some baubles, and now that pink crystal that we picked up yesterday. Though I won't say that the color of his uniform is mostly the same as everyone else's. Harry, I know you mentioned that the color stays the same, but if you'd allow it, I'd like just some of the thread on some of the patterns to vary a little bit, because in Clofjord, color plays such a like significant role in appearance. I think you might want that to be a little bit reflected in his uniform as well.
Sure. As he sort of imbues his thoughts into the fabric and it begins to shift and change to match what he wants it to look like, Alex is able to bring in which colors?
So I'd say threads of like purple, which represents education and ambition, pink for love, gray for be it sparse, though the uniform is kind of already gray, the philosophy of balance in Clofjord, light blue to represent new beginnings as well as veil, and the final threads of orange representing things like emotions, sociability, but also later on as well.
All right. As Alex puts on his uniform, what are the rest of you doing to prepare for the day and the task up ahead?
Can you tell me what was inside the chests? I know that you said a bedroll was at one point.
Yeah, it's basically like within the chest there was those bolts of fabric. There's also like a small bedroll, and there were a few tiny rations in there as well. That's basically it.
Alrighty.
Can I ask a clarifying question?
Yes.
Okay, so and correct me if I'm wrong, guys, this was just what I understood. Each of the specific orders have a uniform, but for
They
the
do, but you're not
initiates,
part of them yet. So you just have the
right,
generic
but
initiate fabric.
right. So for the initiates, we were given a fabric that you could make look like anything. But what I thought we were gonna do, guys, and this is a bit meta, but I thought that the outfits that are in the art were gonna be like tailored to be the order outfits. Or we could do them as the initiates. I don't know.
Those are the initiate outfits, I'm pretty sure. That's what we...
Yeah, the art is based off
But I
of the
thought the
Strixhaven initiate fits, so like these are what those
Oh.
look like.
Yeah, so you can just describe, what you got on right now.
Yeah, you can have it look different. I mean, I don't
Okay.
think it really matters.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
I'll match you guys. I was just confused.
Oh, good.
Okay, I'll make mine. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry. Rowan's is gonna be just kind of how it looks in the art. Just very, if he sees someone else's fit looking like that, he'll just try to match it. He doesn't want to really stand out or anything. But as I'm getting dressed or getting my things together, would it be possible for me to try to like listen in the room? I just want to hear like if I can, mainly for the other group of Illyria, Griffo, Brownlock, and Greymore. If I can hear them talking about their quest or what they have planned, I want to try to eavesdrop a little bit.
Okay, go ahead and roll a perception check for me, please.
Natural
Oh.
20.
Let's
Okay.
go. Professional eavesdropper.
As they're all sort of getting ready for the day, you see that Brownlock has already sort of like headed outside, but Griffo, Greymore, and Illyria are all sort of almost like having a debrief together, a small talk, as Illyria continues to spend maybe an inordinate amount of time making her like hair look perfect. As they're all talking, you sort of like casually make your way over to a pillar where you lean back and make it seem like you're not listening in on their conversation. And as you listen, you're able to hear Illyria and Greymore and Griffo all speaking with one another. As Greymore sort of turns to Griffo and says, "All right, well, I don't think it'll be too hard for us to do this. I mean, it might not really be in your skill set." And he kind of looks over to Illyria, but I don't know. I think that finding a creature like that shouldn't be too hard. And Griffo sort of like, with an excited smile, says, "I've learned a whole lot about things like this before. I've heard." And he sort of leans close, like he's like trying to whisper. "I've heard that it's actually quite easy to tame giant crocodiles. That's what I've heard anyway. I think that there's a song that if you do it, it'll like bring them over." And Greymore sort of just shakes his head and looks at Illyria. "I don't think that singing a song is really necessarily what we want to do in this case, Griffo." And Illyria sort of pierces her hair with this like sharp and elegant hairpin and speaks up and says, "This may not be in my area of expertise, but that doesn't mean that we're not going to do this well. Doesn't mean that we're not going to excel in it. There's no room for failure. We've all put ourselves on the line coming here, and I've never failed, not even once." Greymore sort of gives a nod. "Yeah, no, I don't think anyone was implying that we weren't gonna." And Griffo sort of says, "Oh, yes, of course. I just mean that, violence doesn't necessarily have to be the first answer, So. And Illyria says, "It doesn't say anything about taming the creature." Their conversation sort of seems to peter off a little bit at that point, but you have a good sense that they seem to be either hunting down, trying to tame, or trying to locate a giant crocodile.
Ooh. Okay. That'll be all then. I'll just finish getting my things and try to either wait at the door or wherever we're going for the group.
Yeah, Beacon is also gonna quickly get ready as he puts on the fabric that makes the uniform. It looks pretty similar to how it does in art. However, I'm kind of imagining it looks more like a tabard, like the thing that knights wear. And it slips over pretty easily over his chainmail armor. And yeah, once he's kind of gotten all of that, he quickly heads towards the group. Kind of bouncing. He seems pretty excited about this block dam.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Did,
Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I think Reichard would be pretty slow to get ready. He'll, clean out the contents of the chest and put it into his pack for safekeeping on the road, and you'll see him, getting dressed. He'll starts taking off some of his robes, and you can see there's this big wrap of bandages around like his torso, and you can see him taking off the bandages actually, and he's not trying to hide it or anything. He's just taking off the bandages, and you can see that whatever it was covering was on his back, and as he's unwrapping them, you see two healed pretty well, but very large scars just under his shoulder blades on his back. Look like burn marks, possibly. Before he wraps himself in the fabric, and it shifts into his uniform, which looks pretty similar to everybody else's. Notably, nothing really around the arms, except like these two really thick sort of braces for his forearms. For whatever reason, he'll pick up his staff in his bag and walk on over where everybody else is.
Yeah, I'll shove the eggs in my mouth and kind of whip it with the back of my hand. Take the contents from the chest. And my uniform is gonna look kind of like it does in the picture, but I imagine that the pants are much more baggy and much shorter. Think like really disheveled basketball shorts. She'll roll up the sleeves on the shirt and leave the top bit where a button's kind of undone, so it doesn't cinch her neck. And the back of the shirt is actually going to have like an open slit for her kind of hard carapace skin to protrude from it. I'll wait around with
As
y'all.
you all pull on your new uniforms, your group is the last to remain within the space. More and more people sort of trickle out, having pulled on their uniforms and rushed out to go speak with Lucan. As Rykard sort of lackadaisically gets ready and grabs his stuff, empties out the contents of the chest, and then Boone sort of gets her uniform all situated. You're the last ones remaining within the barracks.
All right, we should get going.
Yeah, where are we going? Does it say where this thing is?
We're supposed to meet with Lucan and get our bags and also ask questions about this blocked dam. Do you have any questions in mind? Any information that you would need to know?
Where is it?
Yeah,
I mean, where is it?
where
That's
are we
really the most
blocking
important
it?
thing. Where is it? What is blocking it?
Also,
Take
how
a
are we
look at my
supposed to bring
arm.
back proof if we unblock a dam?
Perhaps we will find something there, or I don't know, a part of the dam, whatever is blocking it.
Do I still have blocked dam in my arm?
Yes, it is still sort of there,
Fresh ink.
as almost like a tattoo.
Sweet.
Also, I
Yeah,
was,
I think we have a pretty good skill set for dealing with this issue from what I've seen of the two of you, Boone and Rowan, and then Beacon, of course, and
Little plumbers.
Record. I've honestly only seen things related to fire coming from you, so I'm not quite sure how effective that will be, but we'll have to see.
Guess we'll find out.
All right, I guess we head on out.
Yeah, there we go.
Let's go.
All
Let's
right.
go.
Heading outside, you're met with a brand new day. The area that you find yourselves in is almost jungle-ish. There's a dense canopy of trees that hang over the barracks themselves, as well as around the sort of losing the words. There's a dense canopy of trees that sort of like hang over the barracks, as well as over the group of all the different initiates, as well as over Lucan. Amid the dense brush, there's a little bit of light that filters through, and the area has a sort of warmth to it that may feel a little alien to several of you, as it's extremely humid in the air. There's moss as well as vines that hang from the trees above that a few different creatures seem to have made their homes in. There's some birds that are sort of perched up in the trees, some of them seemingly asleep. There's a few of those strange monkey lemur creatures as well that seem to be grooming themselves or otherwise just enjoying themselves up in the trees above. As you each come out of the barracks, Lucan sort of clears his throat. You can see that he's finishing talking with a group of what appears to be 2 tieflings and a lizard folk, the one that had sort of spoken up earlier. He seems to be giving final details to them before he gestures off in a eastward direction, gives them a nod, and then sends them off. They all sort of quickly begin rushing away, almost as though they were feeling like the pressure of a time constraint or something to that effect. You don't see the party of Griffo, Greymore, Illyria, and Brownlock by the time that you get outside. Beside Lucan, you can see that there is a large draft horse that sort of has a few purplish-looking spots on it that has been tied by its sort of bridle and reins to a small table that's beside him. The table has what seems to be a map on it, as well as a few bags. There are a few piles of food and other things that surround the table as well. Lucan seems to be the only person aside from the initiates that's out here. You don't see any of the sort of like more important figures that you had seen the other day. It seems like this is now more of a almost like casual situation. None of the fancy captains of the different orders are here. There aren't any guards. There doesn't seem to be any other supports aside from Lucan.
All right, so yeah, I'll approach.
Yeah,
Lucan.
approach.
He sort of gives each of you a bit of a almost lazy smile, and then looks like you're the last ones.
We save the best for last.
Kind of roll my eyes at that.
We are here to talk about the quest that we picked up, the block dam.
He sort of scratches at his stubble and gives a solid nod. Yes, yeah. There are a few dams around the island. Some of them are made by creatures that live here, and others are created structures. This one in particular is made by animals that reside on the island. Head off in the eastern direction. He sort of points where you had seen him direct the previous group. A pace. You may have to go a ways. Be sure to take in the sights, sounds, smells. Eventually you'll find a large dam. The river that runs through it is the river Lorelei. One of the only rivers that actually continuously runs throughout the island. There are some people down in the town of Landing that have mentioned no water is coming forth from that direction, or hasn't been for several days now. It's one of the only clean water supplies that they have. Fresh water, I should say, supplies that they have.
Alrighty, we'll take a look. I'm assuming they'll let you know if the dam is unblocked.
They'll be able to let me know.
Alrighty. Anything we should keep an eye out for?
He
Any
sort of
dangers?
gives. He only, as you ask about the dangers, go ahead and roll an insight check, right card.
Alrighty. That one.
He sort of has like a bit of a smile on his face and says, "None that I'm aware of. But granted, I'm not the one going off and trying to clear the dam. Now am I?"
That would be me.
I'll look up at
Exactly.
him. You said we need to bring back some kind of proof. What kind of proof
Mhm.
from an unblocked dam do you want?
I'm sure you'll figure it out once you get there.
Alright.
I'll light up a cigarette. Let's get going.
Right, let's go.
He clears his throat and says, "Do you want any supplies?"
Yes, please.
Yes. That'd be greatly appreciated.
What do you figure you'll be needing? A good initiate is a prepared initiate.
You got
So
rope?
think about
Well,
your
how-
task.
Yeah, how far is it? Is it like a day's journey, 2 days? Like, are we gonna need camping supplies?
I have a 10.
He just sort of has like a knowing smile, but doesn't answer.
I don't want to sleep in your tent.
It's only big enough for 2 people anyway. I've also got some rope. I've got a bedroll. I've got a tinderbox and some rations. What else will we need?
I want rope. You got rope?
I'll take extra rope.
Yeah, a bit of extra rope wouldn't hurt.
He gives a nod and he passes over to your group 50 feet of hemp rope.
Someone add that.
I can add that.
Cool.
Beacon will take
Thank
the
you.
note.
Beacon's our big boy.
No problem.
Some steaks, hammer.
We're grilling? Oh, steaks. No, never mind. Never mind.
He grabs 4 steaks for you and passes you a small hamper as well.
Right.
Do we
I
need
said
something
steaks, but I'm hoping for what are they called? What are they
Pit
called?
pittance. Yeah,
Oh,
I have some
pittance.
of those.
Titans?
Will,
Yeah.
will that work
Titans.
as a python to steaks, or
What is a
do I need to
python?
have like 2 separate ones?
It's like a
They're the
steak.
things
Like
that you
for
knock
climbing.
into you knock them into a wall when you climb so that you can
Oh,
tie
okay,
rope to 'em.
yeah. Yeah, okay.
He grabs for you 10 pythons.
All right.
I actually thought of a question. You said the river was, or the dam was made by animals. Do we know what kind of animals? Like beavers or something? Or...
He sort of seems to stop and think, like he's trying to remember.
He said
Yeah.
creatures, not animals.
Oh.
Creatures made it.
It's
Large creatures. Go ahead and roll an insight check.
Yeah, can I try and see if he knows?
Yeah.
And if it's like
Damn.
gonna be a handful.
Amazing.
Hold on, I want to roll too, but I need to get to my sheet.
Yeah, Harry, can we roll?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I'm distracted by how handsome he is.
Oh my god.
He's trying to look for his ring.
Yeah, I'm looking for the ring.
Rowan, you're sort of taking the things that he says at face value. You don't really see a reason for him to lie or obfuscate, but
Interesting.
Alexios and Boone, you both have a sense that he may not be sharing as many details as he is aware of, with some intentionality behind that omission. He's not giving you the answers because you need to find them yourself.
That makes sense.
Test.
Can I get something to boil water in?
He sort of raises an eyebrow and reaches into a bag at the side of the table, and he pulls out for you a large pan. It weighs about 5 pounds. I got this one.
That'll
That
do.
work for you?
Yeah.
We need some microwave Tupperware.
And then I don't know if it's gonna matter, but you said we picked up some rations. How many?
It would have been 5 days worth of rations.
Okay. One ration lasts a day, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Okay.
One set of rations is for 1 day, and it includes
Alright.
water as well as food.
Oh, okay.
Is
And
that
just
In addition to the 10 rations that we already have in the adventuring backpack that we
That
start
was
with.
my question too.
Yes.
Oh my
It would
god.
be in addition.
Okay, so someone add those.
I don't think
Well-
I ever got an adventures back.
You might want to just add it to your own, because if we're all getting 5.
Are we
Oh,
each getting
it's
5 or
five
are we each getting
each or
1?
total? Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was in our chest, like our personal chest.
It's in your
Yeah.
chest. You each
in our
get
chest.
Oh,
5.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, add that then.
Okay.
And a water skin?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I got 2.
Yeah.
I got him like Katara.
They did
I
exactly
hope
what
you
it
shut the fuck up.
Hey, I thought that.
Large pan, water skin.
Did we end up getting the tent? That's
Oh.
just in case, or no?
Well, like I brought one. Like I have one.
But you said it's only for
Yeah,
2
it's-
people.
Oh yeah,
Well,
yeah.
It would be
Do they? Does he have more tents? I don't know.
Yeah, do you have another tent?
Dick
Lucan
sporting
sort of
goods.
shakes his head. Actually, the last group just before you took the last one I had.
dibs.
Fair enough. I think we'll live.
We'll manage.
He
Yeah,
gives
where's
like a
he
sort of
pulling this
nod at
stuff
that.
from?
He has like piles of just stuff on the
Oh.
table beside.
Do I see anything interesting amongst his piles of stuff?
Roll perception or investigation.
Ooh. I will perceive. Never mind.
Looking
Lamb.
over the table, you can see that he has crampons for boots. He has a bunch of different types of like ink. He has a few daggers. You can see that there's a good amount of rope. There's some crowbars. There's some lanterns as well as some oil. And you can see that he also has a few strange little vials that seem to have some sort of like liquid in them, but they're not labeled or anything.
Can I point a finger at the weird vials and say, "What are those?"
Some of them are poisons, some of them are potions, some of them are just beverages.
You don't label them?
I don't need to.
All right, I'll show look.
Wait,
Should we take
if
those
you-
crampons? Are crampons the things that
You
you
just
like
did-
stick on the
oh.
bottom of your feet for?
Yeah, you stick them up. It's for like ice.
climbing?
And
Oh.
yeah,
Okay, that could be useful. I don't know.
That's what? Yeah.
Somebody add all these items. Just like somebody. I'm like I have it written down, but
I have not added anything.
okay. I'm gonna add a water skin to my inventory. I'm gonna add
Oh,
the
I did add the
5-pound
extra-
large pan.
I did add the extra rations and the extra water skin.
Okay.
Me too.
Everyone
I
should have an
added-
extra water skin and an extra 5 rations. Just from the box next to our bed.
I didn't have any of that stuff to
Okay.
begin with.
Where are the...
I don't know.
Yeah, I added the rope. I didn't add anything else. Do you
Okay,
want me to put the pittance in? Because I can, if we're
Yeah,
getting those,
yeah.
because I can do that. Okay,
Yeah, that'd be
I
good.
can. I'll take those.
I'll add the pan. Add item. Large pan. 4 steaks. Anybody have that?
No.
Somebody had that? Somebody?
Are they sticks or are they pittance?
We got 4 steaks and
Oh.
10 pittance.
Okay, I can add the pittance since I already have some in my inventory.
Kezia just did that.
Oh,
I
bad.
got the pittance.
Take the steaks.
Take
I'll take the steaks.
Do the
Take the
steaks.
steaks.
4 steaks.
Okay,
I think that's
check
okay.
out.
All right. Yeah, I guess readjusting his pack, you see, fitting the pan in there and everything. He puts it back on his back, kind of carefully. A little bit of pain in his face. All right, we good to go?
I'm ready.
Think so.
Just
Ready
eastward,
to
are
go?
we looking for any landmarks or? I mean, I guess a river.
Man said east. Let's look for a dry riverbed, I guess. We'll follow that.
Right.
All right. As you begin
I'll
your
pat
journey
him on the shoulder.
east, you're gonna pat Lucan on the shoulder.
Yeah, before you head out.
All right.
How
You reach
tall
over
is
and give
he?
him. He's pretty tall. He's about like 6'3".
How tall
We're
is
the same
Rox?
height.
Or Rykard?
Oh, we're both 6'3".
I didn't mean to dead name you. 6'3"?
Yep.
Okay, goddamn.
He sort of gives you a little bit of a nod and says, "Now, remember, if this is more than you can handle, if you bit off more than you can chew, come on back here.
Yeah, whatever.
I'll
Oh,
He means we can handle this. You've nothing to worry about.
I'm already walking
Thank you
east.
for help.
As you all
Great,
start
big
walking
guy.
away, Rowan, I think you have the highest passive perception here.
Yeah.
You sort of think you see him like sort of shake his head a little bit and say, "Isn't it? It's always things that they're so good." And, like he sort of trails off as you
Yeah.
keep walking away.
Generation.
My God. And you kind of like, I don't know, like elbow him a little bit. Be nice to him.
What? I was nice.
I mean, okay. Maybe be nicer.
We got this.
All right. Let's just
His
get
eyes
going.
sparkle when he says that.
Oh,
Shoot him a thumbs up.
by the way, I was totally accidentally listening to those other people, Illyria, Griffo, Brownlock, and Greymore. It sounded like they got stuck with either taming or killing some giant crocodile. So, at least we know they won't be headed our way, I think.
Do I know what the hell a crocodile is?
Do I
Yes,
know?
you know what a crocodile is.
Okay.
Do I
I
look
don't
like
know.
that?
I'm sorry, a crocodile. Is that... Oh, there we go. Okay.
A crocodilian?
You just say?
That was all I heard, though, so I don't know if anyone will be competing with us. We might have time to do it.
Hopefully.
That's true.
Either way, we should try to get it done as quickly as possible.
Yep. Let's focus on the task at hand, and then we'll see if we got time.
Yes. Is there anyone who is particularly good at, like, leading through nature and things like that?
Are you
Like
not?
going through wilderness? No.
Figured.
Which is quite obvious.
Looking at your boots.
Rowan, this your area of expertise?
I mean, I wouldn't say area of
Seem like you knew quite a
expertise,
bit.
but I mean, I grew
I
up in
got
the
it, I
wild, so
got Brush you out of the way.
I'll help. I'll help.
Alright, I will do my best to find a path that looks like one time there was water flowing there, or kind of plants that look like they'd grow near water in the eastward direction.
Go ahead and roll a survival check.
15.
15. Okay. As you all begin to head off, following after Boone in eastward direction, let's take a quick 5-minute break.
And go
Alright.
get my ginger ale.
Okay.
Never mind. Okay, I'm quiet now.
Guided forward by Boone into the dense brush of the jungle, the comfort of the barracks fade far back into view as you continue to press forward in an eastward direction. The sun, sort of low in the sky, it being quite early in the day, slowly begins to rise up. The island and its humidity begins to feel more and more almost oppressively hot as you make your way through the dense foliage, pushing past thick vines and having to sort of bob and weave and hack your way between brush, bush, and tree. There is no path neatly laid out before you, underfoot or directly ahead of you. Instead, there's just the spongy sort of ground, sort of almost mossy and a little bit muddy. Boone, you're trying to lead the group, keeping an eye out for anything that could indicate to you that you're headed in the right direction or that you're on the right track.
Yes.
With the sun in the sky, where it is presently, you're able to vaguely gauge which direction you're meant to be going. But with the dense brush overhead, it stops serving as a clear and sort of effective marker after a while. The jungle itself is not so shadowed or shadowy that you can't see anything, but there is like an odd darkness under the canopy of the trees. Overhead, you hear the cawing of different birds and bugs. There's the rustling of leaves every once in a while that feels just ever so slightly disconcerting. Much of the environments that you're used to navigating, Boone, are colorful and vibrant. The very earth itself is usually sentient in the places that you've sort of frequented, but here everything is lush and dense and just kind of the similar shade of green. You lead your group through bush and brush, heading deeper and deeper into the jungle. After about 3 hours of bushwhacking, you hear the sloshing of water. It doesn't sound like a running, rushing river, but rather like something splashing about. You'd also notice that there are 4 or 5 sets of humanoid footprints in the sort of mossy ground. And up ahead you can see a little bit ahead of you, about 30 feet ahead of where you are right now, Boone. You can tell that the brush gives way to something of a clearing. You can ascertain that that's probably where the sound of water is coming from.
Looking at the footprints, are they big? Are they small?
They're pretty average, just in general. They don't seem to have come from like a large creature. They seem to have come from, again, like medium-sized humanoids.
You said there's 5 sets?
There's 5 sets of them, yes.
And do
go
they look
ahead
like they
and-
were moving fast?
Go ahead and roll another survival check.
20.
Based on the sort of like scuff marks, you have a sense that they were running. But what really stands out to you, Boone, beyond just that, is that there are some sort of large, almost sunken paw prints. Not super close to the footprints that you had noticed, but just a little bit off, about 5 or so yards away from the sets of humanoid footprints. They appear a bit older than the footprints themselves, but they do still stand out to you.
Rowan, get up here, give her a hand. Come on.
Oh, with what?
Kind of have my finger in the dirt. I'll put a little on my tongue.
Ew.
That, whatever that
Look
is.
around
Do
like
that.
it meant anything to me. It looks
that
like
does?
another group might have come through here, 5 of them, running. And then if you look over here, got some kind of big thing. Do I recognize the paw prints?
They are quite large, and they appear almost feline.
Yeah, big cat. And there's some water up ahead, but it don't sound like a river, so just kind of be. I think we should go into this carefully.
What do you think, Rowan?
I agree with her assessment.
I would
Why are you
imagine
asking
would.
him?
Second opinion's always good.
Yeah, bullshit. Alright,
Rowan.
let's go.
It's Freya right now.
Yeah, she's kind of perched on his shoulder as we've been walking.
Think you could have Freya here go up and take a look? See
Sure.
if she sees anything.
Yeah, that sounds
Good
like a
morning, by
good
the way.
idea.
And I'll nod my head towards Freya. Morning.
What do you think, Freya? Want to go
Freya
take a
gives
peek?
you like a sage nod, and then looks to you, Rowan.
All right, I'll just go kind of point into the distance. Go check up there. I'll watch.
She sort of gives you a slightly skeptical eye, then, with a heavy flap of her wings, begins to fly. Do you want her above or through the tree canopy?
Probably through the tree canopy. Just since, I mean, if she's too high, I don't think she would be able to see like potentially some kind of like big cat, tiger, animal.
Fair enough. All right. As you send her up ahead, can you go ahead and roll a perception check for me, please?
Yes, and kind of as she's
God.
flying ahead, he'll kind of plant his staff firmly into the soil and kind of hold on to it with both hands to steady himself, and you'll see his eyes kind of glaze over white, and I'll look through her eyes just so I can get a clear view.
As Freya's going up, but your consciousness transfers to her. You just hear Brykard say, "Take a lap."
16.
Okay, 16. As Freya moves forward, what she sees up ahead is a large sort of... it looks somewhat like a clearing. She can see that there is a bit of a break in the dense foliage and the canopy up above, and light sort of streams through onto a greenish pool of water. Birds and some of those lemur creatures, as well as some bat-like looking creatures, all seem to gather in the trees and in the brush all around the water. But on the coast of this small pool, or at I suppose, where the tree line sort of meets the water line, she sees that there are 4 large cat-like creatures. They almost resemble tigers, but they have a greenish tinge to their fur, and they almost have like a wood-like texture to their skin as well, as if they were like carved versions of tigers rather than actual living, breathing cats. Some of them seem to be sort of like lying down, paws crossed, almost as if taking a nap, and 2 of them appear to be lapping at the water. This is what Freya sees up ahead.
Sorry, Harry, maybe you said it, maybe I just didn't hear. Is the water moving? Like, is there a current or?
It appears to be like a large pool of greenish water. It has like the faintest bit of a current, but it mostly appears still.
Is the entire basin visible, or does it look like it leads off anywhere?
It does appear to lead off in a slightly northern direction.
Okay.
And Rowan would have been kind of verbalizing everything that he sees through her eyes as she's seeing it, and kind of at the end of that, he'll telepathically signal for her to come back.
Freya sort of soars in a broad circle and then flies back for perching upon your shoulder, Rowan.
And Freya comes back. Rykard will give her a nod and a thank you. Oh, would you look at that? The second opinion helps out. That's why we do this.
Just glaring daggers at you, crouched over the tracks.
Wow.
Now we know what's ahead.
Looks like there's 4 of them.
Hear that? There's 4 of them. Look at Boone.
God.
I'm gonna bite your ankles.
Well, all right. There's no
Do they
need
look-
for that. We know that's up ahead. Is do we want to go that way? Doesn't seems like these cat creatures aren't doing anything much. Not
No,
too
but
bad
there's
sitting
water
down.
up there.
True.
Rivers and streams and such are usually connected, so even if this ain't our river, it might lead to it, or I don't know.
And they don't look natural, right? You said like they looked like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do I know of anything that might be like a carved like animal, like some kind of like item or something that turns into an animal?
You can go ahead and roll an Arcana check, Elixios. Rowan, you can roll a Nature check.
Okay. Oh, a Leon.
Ooh, 23.
There are several totem-like objects that can turn into a larger creature, Elixios. You're not really sure what they would be doing, like animate and alive all by themselves on an island like this. Rowan, you know that like generally the fauna of Cravensbone is something of a mystery to a lot of people. There are creatures here that are not seen anywhere else in the world. They looked quite tigerish to you, and to Freya, but closer inspection would probably be needed to learn more about them.
I couldn't really make that much out from how high up she was flying, but I don't really remember seeing any humans. What these other tracks? Maybe there are more people from Brave Hollow. Maybe something happened. We could try to
I
get closer
appreciate
to look.
that insight. Yeah, I think we take a closer look. Rowan Boone, lead the way.
Oh, so now you're gonna ask for my opinion?
You'll be the second opinion this time.
Okay, I'm sensing a little bit of hostility. We should really just try to focus on what's up there.
All in good fun.
I am
All in
focused.
good fun.
Rowan will step ahead and he'll try to quietly lead the charge forward. I'll try to be stealthy.
All right, go ahead and roll a stealth
Try to
check,
flat
please.
tire, flat tire right in front of me.
22.
Are you trying to sabotage Rykard, Boone?
Yes.
All right. What I'll say is go ahead and roll, let's say, a dexterity check against his armor class, almost like an attack.
Okay.
Okay. Dex save or dex check?
Like a dex check.
Okay.
All right.
Oh
So
my God.
against his armor class, that'll hit. So we'll
Go try to take
say
her down with me.
we'll say you'll roll your stealth at disadvantage, Rykard.
Okay. Are we all rolling right now?
I think
Yes.
so.
Oh, do we need to roll stealth as well?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, sorry. I missed
15.
that.
Oh,
Oh, I
was
totally missed that.
Alex.
Another natural. Alex is just like the least stealthy person.
He hates it here right now.
Alex turns around and sees the bullshit happening behind him and it trips him up.
Actually, canon event.
Yeah.
Oh, it's always the two of you.
Yeah. Listen, we're not used to the jungle. We live in like a cold country.
You are used to
We
our
literally told
ivory
you.
walls and our servants bringing us our pastries on velvet cushions.
All right. So, as Rowan and Boone begin to lead your group towards the watering hole up ahead, Alex, you see Rykard stumble just a little bit for a second as Boone sort of like sticks a leg slightly out. And there's a moment where you're scared that you're about to like smack right into Rykard. And you sort of like scramble awkwardly and you end up sliding and slapping your ass directly into like a bunch of mud. You just immediately slip on the soft ground, trying to dodge out of Rykard's way, thinking that he might stumble, and you land firmly on your butt. And it's kind of loud and obvious as you reach for a tree branch to steady yourself on the way down, and you hear it snap loudly.
I'll just look back with an eyebrow raised. We good back there?
This is why
Alex,
we
are you
all
okay?
try to get along and focus. I'm okay. No.
I'm gonna
I'll
help
back
Alex.
up.
As you sort of slop some of the mud off of your clothing.
Laugh a little bit.
Up ahead, you can see one of the like tiger-like creatures seems to have turned its attention in the direction of your whole group.
Any chance one of you can talk to them?
Does it look like a... It doesn't look like a... I mean, I've never seen anything like it, but does it look like a beast?
It could be. You're not sure.
I could try. You'll
It
see.
is better than getting eaten, I think.
Okay. Rowan kind of... You'll see him quietly whisper the same incantation that he had cast last time with Boone, and these tendrils of kind of green earth magic energy and this suffuse with his staff, and then there's just this like dull wave of energy that passes into him. I'll cast Speak with Animals at first level. And sorry, is it like they looked in our direction, or like I'm making eye contact with one of them, like they fully see me?
They don't seem to fully see you, but they are looking in the group, like the direction of your group.
Okay.
A few of your friends are not as, oddly enough, although you're bright purple and this is a very like lush green jungle, you're able to blend in a little bit with your surroundings. You don't feel that the same is true for your friends.
Okay. I think Rowan will maybe, if there's a some kind of tree or something a little larger he can fully hide behind, he'll step behind it just so his voice is more deliberately sourceless. And then he'll try to call out hello? Excuse me. Can you understand me? I'll just kind of wait.
As you call out sort of this sourceless voice in the direction of the cat-like creatures up ahead. This one, are you all able to see the map, by the way?
Oh no.
Oh, I can.
Oh,
Not currently.
cannot.
I can.
Refresh.
Or of.
Yeah, or fresh. Fresh the page.
I see it.
Oh yeah.
There is a large one of these like large cat creatures sort of directly north of you and your group, separated from you only by a few trees. It seems to prowl ever so slightly closer, but although it's hard for you to necessarily see them, Rowan, you don't immediately get a sense of danger. Instead, you hear a voice reply. Who goes there? What manner of beast is this that speaks without form?
Uh, um, my name's Rowan. I am a part of, I don't know if you know them, the Brave Hollow Society. We're really just looking to get past. There's a river that we're trying to unblock.
The prowling tiger-like creature suddenly stops and seems to instead sit up and cock its head almost curiously. As it sort of sniffs at the air, you can tell that it seems to sort of tell where your friends sort of are. It, staring out in the direction of your group, says, "You are from the group beyond the wall. Yes. You seek a place beyond this one. Further up the stream," and it sort of seems to nod with its head. It's sort of in like a slightly northeastward direction. "You are not the first to come through here. But a few moments ago, a group passed by. Though they were far less genial than you, they did not stop to speak with us. They simply pushed forward."
Oh, well, we just didn't want to be disrespectful or anything. This is your home, not ours. Uh, so, can we go past? There's no issue?
The cat sort of takes a few big steps back, almost as though giving you room. And it says, "Go off in that direction. You will find what you seek. Speak if you can with the creature called Ixtli. It will have answers for you."
Okay, Rowan he'll kind of step out behind the tree he was hiding behind. Okay, we'll go that way. Thank you for your help. Is everything all right here? You don't need any help? Everything's fine?
The cat sort of shakes its head side to side and says, "Our little oasis here feeds the birds and beasts of this area. Our grove is healthful, and the roots in the soil are all strong. But up ahead you may find that things are different.
Right,
The roots up ahead are..." The cat sort of seems to almost like peel back its mouth as if it's like about to growl or like it's disgusted. "The roots in the trees ahead are foul. Beware their poisonous sap and their reaching grasp."
thank you. We'll be aware of that. If there's anything we can do to help, we'll try to help while we're here.
Is Rowan repeating any of this information to us?
I assume you can hear my side of the conversation.
Yeah.
Is it like in common, like how you're?
I think what I'm
It
saying.
sounds
yeah.
like common to
He's
all
just
of you.
meowing.
Okay. Yeah, he's just meowing. They say what its name is.
Oh, it's a good point.
Oh.
What was your name?
Ixtab.
Well, thank you for your help. I'll lead them this way, and then he'll kind of turn back to the group and gesture for them to all start following, and he'll kind of
Follow.
walk the direction that he was guided to by Ixtab.
I'll follow, and I'm gonna try and get in the middle of Rykard and Boone beforehand.
You sure this thing's not leading us to its den?
As he's kind of like walking forward, he'll furrow his brow a little bit. Like he hadn't really considered that. Can I like look back at the creature as we're walking by and like insight check or gauge how it's reacting?
Sure, go ahead and roll an insight check.
9.
You don't have a sense that this cat-like creature's lying to you.
Rowan kind of shakes his head and looks back with a smile. No, I think we're friends now, actually. He was very helpful. They were. We should just keep going, though.
Alrighty, lead the way. Nice job, Rowan. Nice job, Freya.
Thank you. Kind of as we're passing, then he'll kind of, in a whispered voice, he'll try to fill in the group on the other half of the conversation. Just letting them know that the area ahead seems to be poisoned and that we need to watch out for the roots and some kind of poisoned reaching grasp. I don't know, just that it seems bad.
That the sap is poisonous and that the roots like apparently have a long reach and will try to grab us.
That part.
Yeah.
Sap is poison, roots will reach. Okay.
Roots will root.
One of the tasks on the job board was something about a poisonous swamp, right? Or a poison,
correct.
a poison
Poison.
something.
Poison dam, that's ours.
Blocked dam is ours.
Blocked.
Poison
Yeah.
spring
Oh.
is the other
Hold
one.
up my arm. Blocked.
He did
Square
say
read it.
others came through here, which is probably those tracks that you saw, Boone. Maybe that's their task. The poisoned spring or swamp area.
Did
As
you
long
ask
as they
what
don't
they
get
look
in
like?
our way.
Did I ask what? Sorry.
What the other people who they were, what they looked like?
Oh. No, I didn't really think about that. I was still a little worried at that point. He said that they didn't stop to talk to them, though. They just kind of rushed by. He called us genial.
That's very nice.
What does that mean?
I think it means you're smart.
Oh.
It means friendly, I believe.
Oh, okay. That's good. He says we need to speak to someone named, Ixtli. That they know what we need to know.
Who is clicking? Is that in the game?
Terry.
I was like,
Initiative for every beast we're about to find.
I was like, is somebody working on us, man? Like, what is going on?
It's all in your head. Victor.
Felt like there's a bunch of twigs breaking stuff. Like, yeah. How do you spell Ixtli? Or yeah, Ixtli.
It's in the
in the
chat.
chat.
IXTLI.
That's the one that we spoke to, and it said talk to a being.
Ixtab.
No,
No.
he's not
That's the one you spoke to.
Ixtab.
His-
Keep
They're very
up.
different names, Rykard. That's not.
This guy is not genial.
How do you spell the other one?
Ixtab.
T-A-B. Ixtab. Alright.
Is Ixtab also a cat?
Well,
Ixtab is a cat.
Assume so.
Yeah. We don't know what
We don't know what
Ixtli
Ixtli
is.
is.
Or
Rowan
that's
didn't ask.
just-
Yeah, I guess Rowan will try to lead going forward and keep an eye out for any other creatures.
All right.
Yeah, I'll follow the tracks of those 5 other people. Wait, he said 4 people came through?
5. There was 4 of
Oh, 5,
them.
okay.
Yeah.
That- That okay. Yeah, you're right. I'll follow the tracks and make sure that Rowan's taking us in the same direction.
So do you want to follow the tracks, or do you want to go where Ixtab told you to go?
Oh. I guess
think
go
we
where
follow
Ixtab told
Ixtab.
us to go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we should.
But I will make a note of where the footprints go. Just keep that in
Okay.
the back of my mind palace.
As you begin to follow after Rowan, Boone, you try to keep an eye on where the footprints are heading. They seem to be heading in a purely northward direction, and they split off from the direction that Ixtab told you to go almost immediately. Boone, can you roll a perception check for me, please?
Yes, I can. No, I can't.
The tracks seem to vanish from sight as you continue to follow the lead. Rowan, you begin to take the group in the direction that Ixtab had told you to go, a slightly northeastern direction. You have to wade through a little bit of this green water to cross. It's about knee deep for each of you, and it feels thick and slimy and almost jelly-like as you pass through it. So you make your way across the grove and into the direction that Ixtab told you to go. I would like everyone to roll perception checks, please.
Get out the way.
Nice.
You a bitch.
As you all continue to press forward, you become slightly more aware of the presence of that wall that had felt so distant before. Its sort of looming shadow seems to hang slightly over the jungle that you're now navigating your way through, although it's still quite a ways away. The jungle that sort of stretches out before you seems to change in elevation. There's almost a steep cliff up ahead where it seems to drop down. And you can see all of you, the trees themselves up ahead, look slightly less lush and green, and they have this slight reddish brownish tint to them. Brightcard, you can hear up ahead sounds of almost fighting. It sounds like labored breaths, grunts of effort and annoyance, and straining sounds as well. Rowan, you can hear these as well. However, slightly less, or rather, it doesn't quite sound just like fighting to you. It sounds like a struggle more than a fight specifically.
If I hear something up there, I think
hear
someone's
that
in
too.
trouble.
I think so.
So we should go. We go see if they need help.
Yeah. Let's try and be quiet. I'll look back at Alex.
I think
Think
we
you can
all
handle
should
that?
try to be quiet.
If you and Boone can handle not terrorizing each other, perhaps.
I'll show you. You get down like this. And you
Okay.
lightly step.
All right, just
All
like this.
All right. Yeah. Follow my lead. Watch out for that mud.
Ah!
All right, as you all stealth forward, go ahead and roll stealth checks for me, please.
Watch this in
I
that 20.
think Alex should have advantage.
What can I say? What can I say?
Oh, dang it.
What can I say? I'm invisible, actually. My red hair turns green.
Rykard, as you sort of show Alex the proper form to move forward, Rowan and Beacon sort of taking up the rear, you both sort of feel as you have to like crouch a little bit lower to get through some of these low-hanging vines to reach this almost sharp cliff face up ahead. Both of you can feel your horns graze along the vines, and Beacon, you hear like one of the vines that gets tangled in your horns. You can feel it pulling on a branch up ahead, and you can hear the sort of pulling and snapping noise of the branch overhead.
And just try to like untangle my horn. Probably causing a bit more rustling than I mean to.
Yeah, as you untangle your horn, Rowan, sort of near Beacon, you can hear the almost like twanging of the um, branch being sort of launched back into its initial position. And additionally, you can tell, Rowan, that there's like clear footprints and like damage from where Beacon had been. There are very clear traces of his presence that have been left on the jungle.
We're not very good at this. We keep moving forward.
I'll teach you next.
Who said that?
As you all continue to press forward, the sharp cliff face up ahead you can see is covered in like smooth moss, almost as though there is no difference between like the ground of the soft sort of cushy, planty ground of this area of the jungle and the cliff itself. It's not like stony; it's just like a sudden, almost perfect 90-degree drop. Looking out up ahead, Rykard, what stands out to you, as you're sort of the person going up ahead, sneaking forward, again, you hear these sounds of struggle, and you notice a rope has been tied around the base of a tree nearby and drops down over the cliff's edge. I'd say Rowan and Alex also notice this.
I'll stay quiet, but I'll point to it so the others see. And I guess I'll quietly approach the edge and look down to see where the rope's going.
All right, go ahead and roll a perception check, Rykard.
Alrighty. Dude, I'm actually on fire. I'm so good. That's 3 in a row.
What is happening?
Foretells the next 7 now.
Yeah, something bad is about to happen.
Cerulean part 2.
Yeah, it's cerulean at the bottom of the cliff.
Looking down over the edge, Rykard, you can see that making their way down the cliff face, you see a set of 2 tieflings and a lizard folk. You can see that the lizard folk has what looks to be a whip, and they are swinging it at like these large bat-like creatures that seem to be attacking them and their companions as they attempt to climb down the cliff face. You can see that they have all sort of like strung themselves to the rope, and they're being thrashed about by the effort of trying to repel these attacking creatures.
Oh shit! And I'll point my finger, and between the bat and those trying to go down the rope, I'm gonna create bonfire midair, try and put some distance between them, try and maybe spook off the bats. I don't know.
Okay, go ahead and let's say roll intimidation at
Advantage or disadvantage?
at advantage.
Alright. $24.
All right, as flames suddenly appear in the air between the lizard folk and the bat creature lets out a shriek of like panic, and then it seems to fly almost directly into the cliff face. You're assuming that there must be like a hole or something like that the bat had been living in that it quickly clambers back into. You see the lizard folk is now panicking as like fire is suddenly in front of it, seemingly out of nowhere.
Oh,
sort
whoa,
of-
whoa. You guys good down there?
The lizard folk looks up as well as the tieflings and says, what? And then the lizard folk quickly looks to the other tieflings and says, they're trying to steal our thing from under us! Go faster! And they quickly
just
go back to
saved you.
climbing down.
The robot.
One of
I
the
will
tiefling
send a
yells up
message.
towards you, Rykard. One of the tiefling yells up towards you and says, we're going into Brave Hollow, not you! And then they like quickly try to like keep climbing down.
British.
You know I can cut this rope if I
Not
want to,
you,
right?
not Hermione. Wait, what'd you say, Victor?
I was shouting back at them. You know I can't cut this rope, right?
Try caught.
I could have just done that.
Is the direction that they're going in the same direction that we want to go in?
It is in a northeastern direction.
Well, that's what you get for trying to be nice.
What have happened to thank you?
That's what I'm saying.
Let's just try to get down.
That's pretty rude. Yeah.
We'll be able to catch up to them
Um,
quickly enough.
Alright, let's keep going.
Keep going.
Or
Can
are we rappelling down, or? Because like half of us can fly.
yeah, are we going down there? Is that what you are suggesting? I didn't get that clear.
I asked if we had to go down there, or like, are we veering off on another direction, or like, is that the way forward?
Yeah, is there another path?
Well, paths there are none, but
Yeah.
you are now confronted with the cliff face. There are people climbing down it. You've been told to go in this direction by Ixtab.
All right, guess we
Okay.
going down.
Guess
Yeah,
I'll
we're going
kind of
down.
then.
unfold my little beetle wings from my back and give them a little.
Alrighty. Be careful on your way down. Don't know what they're gonna try and do. Rest of us who cannot fly, we should try and get down there quick so they don't do anything to the rope. They don't seem to be very nice team players, so
I can't fly, and Ron will kind of head right for the rope, and we'll start trying to climb
Yep.
down.
I'll head for the rope too.
That's from using the rope. Yeah.
Yeah, I will take the rope along with Beacon. And the rest of them.
All right, everyone who's using the rope, go ahead and roll the athletics check for me, please.
Oh boy. Here's the
Uh-oh.
nat one right here.
Here we go.
Oh, wait, I'm strong.
Nope.
What is with Alex's roll?
Alex is
Bro,
Alex
broken.
has a no good, very
he
bad
got
day.
his lily white hands.
No. Y'all, the moon might instant
He ain't
Gatorade.
built
Give him
for
a
this.
break.
He ain't built for this.
Oh, the moon is in Gatorade. You're so right. It's because it's daytime.
You're so right.
The moon is asleep.
All right, so as you all begin to grab onto the rope and lower yourselves down, Beacon, you are an adept climber. Any sort of feats of strength you're usually quite comfortable and confident in, so you go first. As you begin to climb down, you're followed by Rowan and then by Ryan, who take a little more time and are a bit slower. But Alex, as you are confronted with this 90-degree drop, you can see that out below there are far thinner the vegetation is far thinner. It looks almost like blackened and almost gross, and you can tell that the drop from where you are is about 30 feet down. You hesitantly grab onto the rope, and as you begin to lower yourself, you get about 10 feet down before your hands begin to slip. And you can feel that you do not have a grip on the rope. Alex, you begin to fall. What do you choose to do?
I'll reaction. I'll like tug on my ear and kind of flailing a little bit, and I will cast Featherfall. If anyone else wants to fall down with me, come! And I will fall down.
Hi,
Trusting him
Michael.
blindly. I'll just jump. Blindly trusting him.
And I got Featherfall.
Alex just lets go and starts falling. Goes, everybody join me.
Your friend jumped off a bridge, would you join him?
All right, Alex, as you begin to fall, who is falling with them? Rykard, you are?
Yep. 100% blind trust.
All right, Boone, Alexios, and Rykard. You all pass by the tiefling and the lizard folk that were climbing down, who sort of in awe, or a mixture of shock, awe, and confusion, watch as suddenly like your whole 3 members from your group just like come down crazy fast, not even
I
needing
wave.
to climb the rope.
I just hear giggling.
You hear the lizard folk curse and try to scramble down a little bit faster. But as the three of you land safely on the ground, you can see that there is a sort of thinning through the trees. Although they still look like moderately healthy, there's like blackened moss on them, and the roots of the trees seem to pop out from under the ground, sort of existing on the surface rather than deep under where you'd expect them to.
I'll stay away from this.
Yeah, I'll
Do you
just
know how
hover over.
Yeah. How much of a, like, how far was that climb down or drop?
30 feet.
30 feet. Okay.
Oh,
I thought it was way longer.
I know. I
No,
know.
it was like 30.
When I see the snake and lizard folk coming down, I'll just go, well, well, well. Look who it is.
Take off running. Take off running. We're gonna steal your shit. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
All right, Rowan and Beacon, you're still climbing down, but
Yeah.
Rykard, Alexis, and
Yeah,
Boone,
we're
you are at the bottom.
I'll spot you. Yeah.
Okay. So the lizard folk and the tiefling make their way down, sort of like looking in your direction, Rykard, as you look smugly on. The lizard folk like reaches for the whip at his side, but the tieflings are both like, "Let's just keep going. Come on, go!" And they sort of take off in a blind sprint, running past your group, in a now sort of oddly purely eastern direction. Beacon and Rowan, it takes you about 20 or so more seconds to climb down.
Well, yeah, just jump down like the last little feet. Not feet, but you know, just last little bit. Like, all right. Where are they running off to? Quickly.
In the direction we need to.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yeah,
But
they're running right
I-
through the roots, though. We need to avoid
Yeah, I
those.
don't suspect they know about the roots. Or
Didn't tell him
was
that
it
part.
And we still need to find someone named Ixtli.
Yep.
Are there any like monkeys or bats or schmumpfas around?
There was a bat
Any
that
little,
Rykard
any little
scared away,
dudes? Oh, well, he's not gonna talk to us now.
but
Unless
almost
that's
as if right on
explained.
cue, about 15-20 seconds after Rowan and Beacon make their way down, you hear like a cry come from the direction that the tieflings and the lizard folk ran off in.
Oh no.
Not one of like pure actual terror and panic, more like a son of a bitch sort of thing.
Run past them, go, go, go.
I gotta see this. I'll start going that direction.
I'll hover above the ground and fly off after Rykard.
I'll send a message to the lizard folk. Do you need any help?
No.
You sound like you're having a bit of trouble.
You guys sound like you suck.
So the crazy thing about this party is like you all have such weird things that I have to juggle right now. So like Rykard and Boone are rushing off in that direction. Alex just shoots a message. Beacon and Rowan, what are you two up to?
Rowan is
I'm
looking up
just
towards
gonna go in that.
the cavern where that bat flew, and he's kind of cupping his hands around his mouth, and he's like, Ixtli! You just start calling out a couple times.
We're so fucking bad at our jobs. Holy shit. Everybody's
Alright,
on a
Beacon, what are you
different
up to?
wavelength.
I guess I'll go up ahead with Boone and Rykard.
Oh, Rowan's gonna be
I'll
loud.
see
Pretty
what's
sure he's
going
scoring.
on.
Alex will stay back with Rowan.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Rowan's gonna turn around and mom's not in the cereal aisle anymore.
Where'd everybody go?
All right. As Rykard and Boone and Beacon rush off, going forward, notably in the same, like following the same pathing as the others, that being the tiefling and the lizard folk, narrowly up ahead, you can see that there's like a slight, almost haze amid the trees. And up ahead, you see an oil slick black, like sludge pool that about waist deep the tieflings and the lizard folk seem to be caught in. It's almost like a tar pit. And you can also see that there are like little spiky growths, almost like burrs, that seem to have attached themselves to both the tieflings and the lizard folk up ahead as well. Alexios, although you send out a message, the only response you get is,
Eat bugs! This is my task.
Rowan, you sort of cup your hands around your mouth and just start yelling out blindly for whatever figure you're trying to find. There doesn't seem to be any response as of yet.
He'll just he'll wait with Alex. Then he'll kind of turn around. Where did they all go?
They went off to find the other group, I think, to chase them down.
Oh,
They're fine.
okay.
Wait, so we run up and we see them in the pit?
Yeah, you can see them up ahead in like a tar pit.
Okay, I won't go any further. Right where, like, as soon as we see him, I'll stop. Well, well, well. Same exact way. Well, well, well. Look what we have here. What kind of trouble you slither your way into this time?
One of the tieflings sort of like face palms when you say that. They're not like panicking in the tar pit, but you see that like at that sort of jibe, the lizard folk seems to like thrash harder in the tar pit, and you can see that like they sink a little bit deeper into it.
You guys need help?
One of the tieflings sort of reaches a hand out towards you and is like, yes, please. But you can see that the lizard folk now sort of just like thrashing sort of seems to like almost try to change their position so that they can like swim through the tar pit.
I'll land
Alrighty.
and I'll land down. I'll stick my finger in the tar and I'll like rub it between my thumb and forefinger.
Roll a con
This
save.
is- Oh shit!
Oh.
The dungeon's use strikes back.
I can't help myself. 5.
Boone, immediately you feel your finger like sizzle as it touches the tar, and you realize it's not tar at all, but some sort of secretion. It seems like it's coming out of the roots of these
The
plants.
sap.
Did you take any
I
damage?
pull my finger back
Yes.
like I got a static shock.
All right, you take 4 points of acid damage, Boone.
Okay.
Jeez.
Yeah, I'll pull my finger back, and kind of like wave it in the air like I got shocked by something. I'll be like, I'll look up at Rykard. That sap. It's toxic. These guys are burning.
Okay, yeah, let's get you guys out of here. Beacon is trying his best not to touch the sap. He's gonna reach down and I guess pull the tiefling that's reaching out for help.
All right, Beacon, go ahead and roll an athletics check, please.
Nice. That hits. Oh damn it!
Alright.
Welcome to the acid pool.
Beacon, as you sort of like try to grab onto this person and haul them out of the pit or like this thick sap, you find that like it is so viscous that it's almost like holding the person in place. And as you try to lift them out, you struggle to no avail to actually pull them fully out. You get them about like an inch further out than they were before. But as you pull on the Beacon, you can see that the clothes that they're wearing start to smoke as if they're like sizzling in the acid, and you hear a cry of pain from the tiefling.
Oh shit.
Can me and Alex hear that?
Alright.
Distantly, yes. They're about like 50 or so feet away from you.
Okay, maybe it's more serious
yeah,
than
we should-
made it out to be. Let's go.
I don't think Boone and Rykard should be left alone.
I didn't- Well, they were Beacon, but
How many people
Beacon
are in
should
this
have
tar
been left
pit?
alone with them.
3.
3.
All right, we got one taker. All right. I'll start tying rope to All right, someone's gonna go in probably and get him out. Could tie rope to you, but we need somebody strong on shore. Any takers?
Kind of look at my arms, raise them up to my sides. Bear sticks.
Probably. Yeah, I'll go on shore.
Alrighty, so someone's got to go in. I'll take a look at Boone. She's kind of
Yeah.
tiny.
I can hover though.
I got it.
If I hold on to them and you hold on to me, and then Beacon holds on to you, we can monkey chain him out of this.
Yeah, let's do it.
Right. Let's put the plan
Alright.
into motion.
I'll tie the rope to myself and give Beacon the other end.
Yeah.
And then is Boone trying to pick me up?
Well, no, because they're in the middle of this acid pit, so I'm like
Yeah.
above them, holding onto their arms. I imagine you grab like my leg or something, and pull me, pulling them.
I can't fly.
You're on the ground, so you're just reaching for Boone's leg.
Oh, okay. I didn't know how
Wait,
deep
hold on,
into
no,
the
that's
radius
dumb.
they
Wait,
are.
I didn't. Yeah, okay, hold on, no, that doesn't make sense. Can Rykard reach their arms?
how deep, like how from the edge of the lake.
So the
Yeah.
closest one to you is about like 3 feet, like super close.
Oh,
The lizard folk is about 20 feet away, and now you can see that they're sort of like forcefully splashing their way through this pit, and they're like actually making a surprising amount of distance. Like they'll probably be okay in that they'll traverse this and they'll make it to the other side, but they'll probably be heavily damaged. The third tiefling, or rather the second tiefling, the third person there, is about 15 feet away into this like slop, and they are like almost like standing as still as possible so as not to disturb the pit, and you can tell that they've gone quiet in a panic.
I try and tie a lasso.
well, if you
Okay.
pull them through, they're gonna get burned.
Is it? Would you take acid or poison damage?
It's acid.
Oh shit. Okay, never mind.
I think when you
I'll hold-
move is when it hurts you. Am I right,
Okay.
Harry?
It's hard to say. You just put your finger in it, and it was so.
I'll hold my staff out to the one closest to shore 3 feet, and I'll say, Beacon, grab me.
Right. I grab him.
And then I guess both of us will try and tug him out.
Okay, go ahead and both of you roll athletics, please.
Alright.
At this point,
Yeah,
Rowan,
that's fair.
Elixios, the two of you run your way over to the edge of shore as well, where you can see the same scene. At this point, the lizard folk has reached the far end. It's about 30 feet away from you, and it like heaves itself out of the slop, and you can see that like the lizard folk's skin is all bubbled as if it had been passed through some sort of caustic substance.
Good for you, bud. Maybe you can lend us a hand getting your friend out.
The lizard folk sort of like flicks its little tongue in your direction and says,
Glory will be mine.
and then it runs off in the other direction.
I'll just let them
I'm
go.
sure
The
it will.
tiefling that you're pulling out says, just sort of shakes their head and says, "We should have never gone with that guy. What the fuck?"
Trying to help you out, man.
All right, Rykard, Beacon, the two of you pull heavily together, and manage to pull the tiefling who was closest to shore out. She looks at you with like a look of appreciation and says, "We shouldn't have just run blindly ahead. I'm so sorry. We thought you were doing the same thing as us, and we were just thinking of trying to get ahead."
That's okay. Are you all right?
No. And looking
No.
over her, you can see her leather armor has started to like bubble at the edges as well.
All right, we got one more in there, so let's get them out first.
Mhm.
Can we so Beacon, you hold part of the rope, I'll hold part of the rope. Boone, can you fly over some of the rope to the other person and just hold it above the surface of the acid
Wait,
pool?
wait, Harry, are there any like trees or anything that go over the acid pool?
There's like some canopy that hangs over, yes, but it's quite
We
thin.
can make a. Oh,
or like it's not like as lush as the previous bits
is
of the
it
jungle
like a
that you
strong
passed through.
branch or a strong vine or anything like that? Anything that looks like I might be able to make a pulley?
There are some branches that hang over. You could try.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab the end of the rope from Rykard and string it up and go over, like pass it over the branch and then fly down to the other tiefling and hold it out to them. Here, grab this.
They reach up in the direction of the rope, and you can see that there's like a panicked look in their eyes as they grab onto it.
All right, everybody yank.
Yep.
All right, can I get
You-
athletics checks from everyone, please?
Hmm.
All right. Do we have enough space to join in, try to help, or is it just the
I'd
two
say
of
you
them?
would. Yeah, you have a
I got
length of like
this.
50 feet of rope. You got
Oh my god.
I got this.
I got this.
Alex.
I unbuttoned two of my buttons. Roll my little sleeves a little bit.
Am I rolling or am I just
You're supervising.
You can roll 2, Boone.
okay? I don't think I'll be much help. I'm more help than Alex and Rowan. Never mind.
All right. As you all pull with all your might against the rope, Beacon, you realize that everyone around you is quite a bit weaker than you when it comes to strength. You see them all flexing their like noodly arms, at least compared to yours. And as they all sort of throw their full weight into it, you tug with all the force that you possibly can, Beacon, and you all manage to pull the person up out of the like thick sap. They're now hanging like aloft over the branch, stranded now over the branch itself. You can see that the tiefling, who has like this like deep red tinge to their skin, seems to be like huffing out heavy breaths of panic. They're still sort of like frozen.
All right, give him some slack. Beacon, Boone, can you help
Yeah.
swing them over?
Yeah, I'll fly over to him. I'm like, look, I'm gonna help give you a push, but you're gonna have to swing off. All right, you're gonna have to let go when you get to the other side. Can you do that?
They give like a shaky nod, sort of being snapped out of their panic and anxiety. But then they sort of clear their throat and shake their head and say, I'll climb down the tree, off to the edge over there.
I'm confused about the layout of this. Does that make sense? What he just said?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, sounds good. Just hold on to the rope.
They like
Alright, I'll-
slowly and carefully like climb back down over the side of the tree, avoiding the pool of like tar-like sap sort of at the middle of the canopy here.
All right.
They like cautiously make their way along like the outer perimeter of where this pool it lies, making their way back to the shore, where they sort of hug the other tiefling and looking at your group. The two tieflings sort of give thankful nods in your direction. One of them says, I don't know what would have happened if you hadn't come after us or helped us beforehand.
Who's your friend that ran off?
Oh, it's... Well, he called himself Pukitsi.
Everybody remember that name? Wait, write that down.
He's going on my
I
list.
wrote it
Don't you
down.
worry.
I'm writing it down in my book.
Yeah.
How are you guys holding up? I'll take a look over them. Are they like really
Yeah.
badly injured? Or
Do
they...
you want to keep
They're not-
going, or
They're not super
they
badly
got the-
injured.
okay?
Yeah.
One of them says, we'll be okay, but we'll need to take a breather. Maybe we'll be
Absolutely,
able to
yeah.
beat out Pukitsi at his own game.
Yeah. What is your objective? Like, what are you guys chasing after? We might not even have the same thing.
We're meant to find a large crocodile creature.
What the? All right.
We don't even have the same quest.
They can have fun. Pukitsi, have fun. Have at it.
Yeah, he's gonna go wrangle a crocodile by himself. Yeah, we're looking for a dam.
Damn. The
block
two
of Damn.
tieflings look at each other and then back at you. Well, we had scouted a little bit ahead that way, and they point like slightly north.
What'd you see over there?
There's signs of felled trees, and I think that I saw a river.
Flowing or dried up?
Well, that's the odd thing is there's signs of a river, but no water. Like,
Take a look back
it
at
was
the
a
river.
deep river bed, but there was no water.
That
Sounds like what we're looking for.
sounds.
Sounds like our dam.
Yeah. You guys good on your own?
We will be. Thank you for your help.
Yeah. I'm Rykard, by the way.
I'm Kianto, and this is Huracan.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Can
And
you
I'll
also write those down, please?
shake my hand.
Writing it down.
Thank you.
The red tiefling, Huracan, sort of looks over your group and says, the riverbed that we saw up ahead, I can only see it a little bit from the top of the cliff up there. There's no guarantees what you'll find over there, but we also saw some trees falling. Like a big tree fell over while we were looking. But Kitsy thought that might be the direction that the creature we were hunting would be, but I didn't think that would be the case.
We appreciate all the information. Hope you guys get out of here all right,
Yes.
in one piece.
And to help you, if you find a halfling, a woman with very long hair, and a gnome, I believe they also have the same quest as you do.
Braemer's with them too.
Yeah.
Kianto, the purple tiefling, the one that had sort of like been dismissive of you while they were climbing down the rope, says, we haven't seen them yet. How odd.
Neither have we.
Oh no. Rowan here thinks that they had the same quest as y'all.
Something like
That's
that.
why we asked.
That's what I heard. And we did still see 5 sets of tracks earlier, so... Oh, well... Wait,
Yeah, that we did. What's...
so there's 3 of them.
Did y'all
But then
walk
there's
through a
4.
clearing with some big stone cats?
Kianto shakes their head. No, we went around it.
Must have been them.
Yeah.
Well, doesn't matter now. We know where to go, or at least have an
What do
idea.
you guys... You reckon that maybe we're all after the same thing anyway? Like that big crocs is what's blocking the river?
Could be.
Maybe.
Yeah, good. And then the poison spring, I'm not sure how that would tie in, but...
No idea.
Maybe the
Sounds like it's a
crocs
whole ecosystem of
I don't
stuff.
know. Might be in the same location anyway. They probably expected us to run into each other out here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would not be surprised.
I think we should get going though. We gotta make good time.
The tieflings thank you again for your help, and you can see that they're sort of like, they're not setting up a full camp or anything, but you can tell that they're going to take a rest at this point in time.
Good luck, you guys.
They both wish you good luck as well.
As we
Alright,
head off
with-
in that direction. Yeah,
With
sorry.
a new
go ahead.
direction in mind, who is sort of leading your group?
Rowan Boone.
I,
pretty good.
I see the
Yeah.
way. It's that way.
Alright. I will do my best to affirm that the way that Rowan says is actually the correct way.
Okay. Rowan, can you roll survival at advantage, please?
Ooh.
Let's
Oh,
go!
Druid!
Okay.
All right. With a clearer direction in mind, now that you've sort of been directed once more, you begin to make your way in the area that Kianto and Huracan turned you towards. As you make your way along, you skirt along these sort of outer edges of this almost swampy, marshy area that they had sort of been heading deeper into. You can tell, Rowan, that this area of the jungle seems a lot less healthy, almost as if there's like some sort of undue influence over it. But oddly enough, it seems like sequestered to this one area. As you continue to press forward, skirting along the edge here, you eventually find your way to an area of the jungle that seems to have larger trees. They extend up extremely high, but you can tell, Rowan, that a number of them have been felled somewhat recently. Almost like they're spiking out of the ground. You can tell that some sort of creature, a very large creature, has been gnawing away at these trees until they have fallen down. A number of them, about 20 or so, appear to have recently been felled by this creature. Additionally, you can see that there are like drag marks all over the ground, and a massive creature has been passing over this way, or a large creature has been passing over this way, somewhat frequently based on the drag marks on the ground and the disturbances on the of the forest around. You can tell that this part of the forest is lush and healthy, and you would expect there to be a big water source nearby. But you don't hear one, oddly enough.
We're getting
As we're
really
walk-
close.
Very good.
No, I was just.
As we're, walking and they're doing their tracking thing and figuring everything out for us, I'll turn to Beacon. You got some muscles on you. That's good. I'm afraid I'm not too much help in that regard.
Oh no, don't worry at all. I think I have enough muscles for the group of us.
Absolutely. And Boone, it's a good idea. Quick thinking on that tree with the rope. Happy to have you here.
Insight check.
Roll whatever charisma check you feel up. Right card.
All right. I don't know.
If it's like perfect.
Yeah. Do I tell her what she gauges from that?
Sure.
Yeah, it's upfront and honest. He thinks it was a good idea, and he's happy to have you along.
Squint at him. Glad you were there to pull the rope.
Well, had more help from this guy here, but I appreciate it. Rowan, do you think you can take another lap? Freya here, if she's down for it, of course.
Yeah, I think so. What do you say, Freya? One more lap?
She gets ready to flap her wings, and as she does, you hear a large thump from a little distantly up ahead in the forest.
I think whatever's making the dam is really close.
All right, say this another time. We should be quiet.
Maybe we should
Beacon.
just creep forward, yeah.
Watch and learn.
You should watch him, and he's really good.
I'm watching.
All right, go ahead and roll stealth.
Right.
Big 10 right out the
Jesus
gate.
I was not watching.
Christ.
This is why I don't let men teach me anything.
All right, Rykard, Beacon, and Alexios, the three of you sort of like all squashed together beside this one tree, all trying to hide in its shadow all together. But it's not so thick or so dense of a tree that it'll be able to properly hide all of you. So you all kind of just ended up standing side by side together, while Boone and Rowan stick a little bit more to the actual foliage and manage to blend in just a little bit better than the three of you. You hear a thump and then a creaking noise. Peering up ahead, Rowan and Alexios and Boone, you all see a sort of slightly shadowed figure lumbering. It's on all fours and it appears somewhat rotund. It has a long, flat tail, and it is larger than any creature of this type that you've seen before. Rowan, to you, it is clearly a very rotund but large-sized beaver.
Ooh.
It seems to have gnawed away at the base of a tree, one of these massive trees, which falls and sends almost reverberations all throughout the jungle.
It's a beaver. It's very large, but it's a beaver.
Do you think it might be Ixatil? By any chance? That might help us.
Wait, what did you say? Do I think what?
Is it, the creature earlier, Ixatil?
Quietly.
My God, shut up.
Sorry, I got this message.
Everybody,
Is it Ixatil, do you think?
Quiet.
The beaver sort of like begins to look around as if it can hear or smell something.
Can you still talk to with Rowan?
yeah, is that Ixtil?
Yeah. That's what
Ixtil, is it Ixtil?
Try again. It's been a minute. Hold on.
You should try and find out.
Rowan will very quietly whisper his incantation again, and he'll recast Speak with Animals. Excuse me. Are you Ixtil?
The beaver looks directly in your direction. It sort of twitches its nose, and you see that it, sort of with its flat tail flapping behind it, takes a few steps in your direction, and they feel like they shake the whole jungle. As it looks up ahead, the creature says,
I am the one named Ixtli. Who goes there?
Sorry, didn't mean to mess up your name. Your friend, or maybe acquaintance, I'm not really sure. Ixtab, he sent us. I'm Rowan, by the way.
Yes, Ixtab of the Green Oasis. It has been long since I have met with my friend. I've been too busy building my dam.
Oh, you're building the dam that's blocking that river?
it looks a little confused at that, but it says,
Oh, well, I was building a dam, but the river seems to have vanished.
Oh, right. I mean, I've never built a dam before, but I sort of think that's what happens when you build a dam.
you feel like if like the beaver could look almost annoyed at you, it would. It instead just twitches its nose.
No, come with me and I'll show you the problem. You said Ixtab sent you to fix it? Oh, always thinking of his friends. How kind of Ixtab. You know, there was a time when Ixtab had problems with the oasis over there, and I had to build a dam, and it starts just to regale you with tales of its friendship with Ixtab, and the many times it had to build different
so cute.
dams.
Rowan looks enraptured.
It sort of thumps along, forcing you to follow after.
He's gonna show us the dam. We'll wait for everyone to follow, and he'll follow after Ixtli.
I pick Rykard up off the
weirdest
garbage.
thing we've done today.
Yes. We're on the right path.
Good observation.
Ixtli the Beaver takes you on a bit of a journey. As the beaver continues to regale Rowan with tales of its various escapades of building dams, the rest of you can only hear chittering from this massive creature. But Rowan speaks kindly in response, in common, so you hear about half the conversation. It takes about 30 minutes for the beaver to take you where you're headed. What you see before you is the jungle opens up and gives way to a deep riverbed in between two sort of stony cliffs. You see a stone bridge that is mounted above a wooden dam that is set at the bottom of this sort of riverbed, or like the basin in which the river would have normally flowed. You can see that there are massive trees that have all been felled and stacked all together to create this beautiful dam. But looking out at the riverbed below, you can see that there is absolutely no water in the actual riverbed.
Oh, that's what you meant. The water has gone from both sides.
Did he drink all this?
I don't want to
I'll
ask him that.
elbow Rykard sharply in the side.
When did the water go away?
Oh, well, just a few days ago. You see, I've been having problems with creatures attacking and blocking out my dam. They're still down there, by the way.
And it sort of like slaps its tail in that direction.
So that would be helpful if you could clear that out. But the water itself stopped running from upstream. The river here flows from further up in the island all the way out to the ocean.
Oh, so there's... Okay, so you want us to handle the creatures that are stuck way down there and then see if we can find out why the water's not coming?
Oh, well, that would be very kind of you indeed. You see, I need water to flow this way. That way, my family and I have somewhere where we can, well, safely stay. But also, it helps the rest of the island.
Oh, well, we can do that. Right? I kind of looked at everyone. There's some creatures down there that are blocking up his dam, but he also said that somewhere upstream the water stopped flowing.
Well, it
Does he
sounds like we
know-
gotta go upstream.
Does he know anybody that we might find up there that we could talk to? Another referral?
Oh,
We're
it-
networking.
is there someone... My friend was asking, is there someone upstream that we should, like, talk to about turning the water back on? Or do you think it's just, like, blocked from somewhere?
Can't pay the water bill.
The beaver sort of twitches its nose at that, and then it sort of looks quite pensive a moment before it sort of frowns deeply, or as deeply as a beaver can. And it says,
Well, now that you mention it,
"Oh," and it sort of shakes its head, almost as if annoyed.
there is someone upstream from me. Oh, there's a cruel old woman who lives further up.
Oh.
She has a strange house. Sometimes people of your sort will wander over to speak, as well as other creatures. But she uses strange magics. I tend to stay away. Do you think she could have stolen my water?
Well, maybe. I mean, I've never heard of anyone doing something like that, but if you say she uses strange or different magic, maybe. We could try to go talk to her, see if she was responsible, or maybe if she could give the water back.
To who?
Oh, he says there's this woman up the stream. She has this weird house, and people and sometimes animals go there and talk to her, I guess. He doesn't like her very much, though.
kind of raises eyebrows towards Alex and the rest.
I mean, if she might know something about the water, I don't see why not.
It wouldn't hurt to go check it out at the very least.
At
Ex-
the very worst, beating up an old woman is probably the easiest way to wrap this up.
oh,
That's one
Um,
beat her up.
That's nothing that really crossed my mind, but
anyway, Ixley,
What'd you say?
what was her name? Do you know?
X2.
Well, I have never spoken to her. I tell my young ones, wife, stay far away from her. There was a time, my friend, you met them, Ixtab. A cub went that way, one of Ixtab's cubs, and came back a horse with wings.
A horse with wings? That sounds awful.
What are you talking about?
This woman is very dangerous. If she's the one who stole my water, maybe I should go make a dam somewhere else. You can tell that the beaver looks nervous and worried.
Oh, well, we don't want you to have to move. I mean, that's not really fair that you and your family would have to leave. Should we go talk to her first, or did you want us to handle what's down there?
Well, if you handle those little beasties down there, I can get back to repairing my dam.
Okay, and they're like mean creatures, like mean beasties. That we couldn't just like ask them to leave.
The beaver sort of nods at that.
In fact, now that you got me thinking on it, they must have been sent by her.
Wow, this is a horrific plot that you're involved in.
You keep passing speech checks.
Okay,
Oh.
yeah.
Make sure to tell them to stay out of the pit while, in case any water comes by. I don't want them to, get hurt or anything.
You mean Ixley and his family?
Yeah, sudden rush of water. I don't
Oh,
Probably
I
not
don't know if
quite any
that's stable or
creatures
not.
over there.
I don't know.
okay. All right, Ixley, we are gonna help you. We're gonna we'll I don't know what we're gonna do. We're gonna handle what's down there, and then we'll go talk to that lady and see if we can convince her to give the water back.
That would be very good of you indeed. I am gonna go chew more trees down in the meantime.
Okay, maybe just stay out of the the riverbed until we get the water back, just in case it all comes rushing back.
Us beavers are very good swimmers.
Oh, they're really good swimmers, Rykard. He thinks they'll be fine.
I trust his judgment.
Okay, all right. We'll be back.
The giant beaver gives a nod and then, sort of with a slapping of its tail, moves back towards the direction of where you had first encountered it.
Do we see his family anywhere?
No. You
Uh-oh.
haven't seen any other beavers.
Oh my god, so he thinks that lady stole his water, and then he also thinks that she sent those things down there.
She drank it?
Oh, I don't know if she drank it. I don't know if she
Use
did
the
with it.
straw.
Where is it?
Why
that
would
doesn't steal as much water. What would she need it for?
Hmm.
That's what I'm wondering.
Did he say where
So
Lots of
direction she's in?
water.
Yeah, where are we going now?
He said upstream,
Left, right?
but we should probably deal with
We should
those
creatures first.
the things
right?
down
Don't
there
you need a
first.
stream to flow to know which way's up?
Well, it's that way. He was gesturing with his tail. No point.
Also, another question. If we get the water running again, ain't the little critters in there just gonna kind of away anyway?
Well, what if they can swim really good
Mules.
too?
You also don't technically know if the old lady is responsible for the water disappearing.
But she is closer upstream, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think the creatures are closer, aren't they, or no?
No, the creatures are right here. They're at the bottom
Yeah,
of
the
this.
creatures are
Yeah,
here.
but how we gonna get? I mean, how? I don't know how I'll get down there. How are y'all gonna get down there?
How deep is
mean-
it? Have we walked to the edge yet? Can we see?
I'm just looking at the map.
You're all
and
still
that's
hanging
the
out
drop.
sort of back where you are on the map. You'd have to get a little closer to like the edge to sort of figure out what's going on.
It couldn't be that far down. I mean, we just got all that rope. And Ron will kind of
I'll
start.
go look down.
Yeah, I'll try to walk
Watch
to
your
the
footing.
edge.
Watch your footing.
All right, moving to the edge and looking down. It's about 60 feet down.
Can we
Roll
see
a perception
anything?
check.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
No.
it's a long way down.
We're
It's
both
quite
yeah.
dark lower down. The sun's not really like hitting the bottom of this river. You can see the top portions of this heavily and intricately built wooden dam, which also seems to be providing some cover for whatever lies beneath. You don't see any movement, and all you really see is the wood of the dam underneath this stone bridge.
Does the bridge have like pillars that go all the way down?
No, it's like a arch stone
I
bridge.
see. I see.
Alex, can you do that thing again where we like skydive but don't die when we hit the ground?
Probably. Depends on how far down it goes.
Yeah, how are we supposed to get back up?
Well, we could just walk up the riverbed upstream, and then
And if it's a canyon the whole way?
I mean, we could probably climb out.
We do have pittance to climb back up if we need to.
I just think if these creatures aren't very nice, like Ixley said, we probably want to be down there quickly if they're gonna try to attack us, you know?
I'll come and take a look.
Alright.
Does it look like if we were to try and jump down, like we would risk hitting rocks if I were to use that spell if we just kind of jumped?
Roll a perception check.
Guys, you don't take fall damage if you hit
Natural
water.
20.
Alexios, as you go to the edge and you take a look out, you can tell that the riverbed goes down about 60 to 65 feet down.
Mhm.
But beyond that, what Rowan and Boone failed to notice, and what you're very plainly able to notice, is almost as though they are stuck to or hugging the underside of the dam, clinging to the shadows and the chunks of spiky wood that stick out. You see what appear to be 3 creatures. They appear spiky and almost wooden, in such a sense that they seem to blend in with the dam itself. But they are sort of blackened in coloration, and you can tell that they are looking up and watching your group as if waiting.
Oh, I don't like that.
Each of these creatures, the 3 of them that are there, are completely motionless, and they are indistinguishable to the naked eye from the dam. Except for you have very keen investigative skills, and you can tell that the coloration is slightly off. You never encountered a creature like this, Alex. One other thing that you do notice is that they seem to be, almost from their like wooden appendages and their slightly spiky bodies, you notice this like slight leaking of like a sticky sap-like substance.
Ugh, it doesn't look like the sap that we saw earlier, does it?
It's similar.
Okay. Alright. I'll kind of motion for Rowan and Boone to step back a little bit from the edge.
What did you see?
So it looks like there are some creatures down there waiting for us. They have these big spikes and they are leaking sap. I honestly don't know what they are, but they do not look particularly friendly.
Is it like the sap that we saw earlier?
A little bit. So it could be the same sap that we saw earlier. Where did I see them? Like what area? Like was it over here?
They are right at the edge of the dam. So there's 3 of them, and they're all right down here.
Okay, I'll kind of point over in that direction. So if we were to go down, we should be careful.
And you're pretty certain they're evil?
They do not look friendly. I mean, they have big spikes, and they are made of, well, they are kind of made of wood, kind of like the other things.
Can we see
But-
them now that they've been pointed out to us?
No, as long as they remain still and motionless, they are undetectable to the naked eye.
I see.
Hmm.
Well,
But they look very much like they are looking at us and waiting for us to come down.
and I don't think
Firebolt
Ixley
has
would
a
lie
range of
to us.
120 feet, just saying.
Well, what if we just like
All these creatures are.
we jump down and you make us float or fly or something, and then we try to get the jump on them?
Yeah, we
I
could.
think they already
It is a
see
bit of a slow descent, though. But let me just double check
Think we can hit him
the
from here?
speed that we fall. 5 creatures slows to 60 feet per round. Oh, so it'd take us like 6 seconds to get down. So we could potentially get the jump on them, especially if we go a little bit maybe in the direction they're not expecting.
We can't hit him from here.
Can't really see them.
They're kind of over. Yeah, they're kind of over. I'll point in the general direction where I saw them, at the edge of the down.
Unless Alex shoots them.
You give him some light.
We could use some light, but I'm not sure if we want to alert them right away.
I was thinking, I don't know, maybe one of us goes across the midsection of the bridge and drops a light source so we can see him. Maybe aim and take fire from there. Now that we can see him. What do we think?
Yeah, I suppose that probably could work.
Just trying to keep
Uh,
everybody safe, make them do the work, come to us, or run away.
Yeah, that is true. I'm not sure if they're able to come up to us. Did it look like they were like creatures that could crawl or climb very well?
It's hard to say because, again, like
Yeah.
only by virtue of the natural 20 could you see them. But
Yeah.
it's unlikely. They look like kind of like spike balls, almost made out of solid wood, but extremely spiky. You're not
Guys, I
sure
got an idea.
how they would climb.
What is your idea?
I got an idea. I can go above them, not down there at all. Like I'll be at this height pretty much, maybe a few feet lower. I can hit them with fairy fire, light them up, and as soon as I do that, you guys then light them up.
Ooh, that sounds smart.
Yeah, we could do that. I think so. We should all get into position though, that we are all ready when you cast fairy fire, and then we can attack them all at once.
Sounds like a good plan to me.
Right.
And it doesn't look like they can climb up to
Okay,
chase us,
cool.
so we will probably have a tactical advantage from up here.
Yeah.
Hopefully. But keep in mind that it will be very difficult to see them if the fairy fire spell does not work.
I'll try and see. It's a 60-foot drop down there.
Yes, 60 to 65.
I'm gonna take a look real quick. Take a look real quick at this. Okay. I will get into position. I'm gonna try and get like the lowest point of the edge as close as I can to one of these cliffs. So where would that be? You think? Could I go like right?
Probably about here,
Like here work or right here?
or like right here.
Right here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, I will keep myself backed up away a little bit further. I just need to check the range on this. It's 60 feet down, yeah?
60, 65.
So- Yeah, okay, so I'll stand like around, I guess, kind of here. And I guess what I'll do is. I'm not sure if I should use a second level spell slot or not yet. Okay, sorry, let me just think for a moment as I go through my
Sure.
spell list. See what I want to do.
Is there any preparation that Rowan wants to take?
Not really. I mean, I think, you know what, maybe he'll in the coming minute before we're getting ready to strike, he'll tap his staff against the rocks, and kind of that mix of like yellowish and green energy will kind of pulse through the staff, and I'll cast Shillelagh in case they do happen to make it up here.
Okay. All right. Any prep for beacon?
Honestly, not a lot. Not anything I can think of. I think I'll just probably stand guard, just prepared, or also prepared for if they come up here.
You got javelins? Just in case.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, I do.
I didn't mean
Okay.
to jump in there, but just remind you.
All
Oh,
right.
Thank you.
You know what?
All
Sorry,
right. Yeah,
Okay.
yes. Oh, sorry. You go ahead, Rowan.
I was just gonna say I will spend actually one of my wild shape charges to get 2 charges of my spell weaving, and that's it.
Yeah, just let you know ahead of time my plan, just so things don't get confused when everybody, jumps on it. When Boone casts that, I'm gonna try and create bonfire so that we have a consistent source of light in case one of them doesn't get hit. I'm gonna try and hit one, but we'll see if that happens.
Okay. There's like a few contingents.
Yep.
So when you do cast it,
Yep.
can you roll an attack using your spellcast mod as well?
Okay.
Just to see if you do manage to like actually get in the right spot, we'll say.
Okay.
All right, Boone, you're casting Fairy Fire.
And I'm gonna use my free cast from Fairy Magic to do it, so I don't expend a spell slot.
Okay.
And
is
sorry,
it-
I'm gonna hold my action, and I will cast Moonbeam in a 10-foot radius when that happens.
What is the distance on Moonbeam?
120 feet.
It's a Dex 13 save.
All right. Okay.
I'm gonna be sorry. I'm just gonna be a little bit more specific of what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go up about here. Yeah, about here.
Okay.
And I'm gonna take a javelin and I'm gonna hold my action, and then when I see them is when I'm going to throw the javelin.
All right. Okay. 3 of these. Oh, that's the wrong thing. That's the wrong stat block. Ignore that. Okay. So, as you summon forth a burst of light from the fairy fire at the bottom of this chasm, Boone, for a second there's like a glimmering, almost sparkle that illuminates in the space, but no outlines to any creature begin to glow.
I'll fire off my thing if that happens.
Yeah, and I will
Go
also
ahead.
fire off mine as well.
Okay, we have to do this sequentially.
Yeah,
I
oh
can't
yeah,
have
no,
you
no,
all
we'll do that,
firing
sure,
back to
yeah.
back. So,
Everybody
Brightcard, go
now,
first.
everything all at once. Nuke 'em.
It'll be a 25.
Okay. So,
I'm using Eldritch Blast just because it has my
yeah,
spell.
because it's already got it. Okay, so control bonfire, right?
Yeah, bonfire. It doesn't say how much light is given off, but it's a bonfire and a torch is 20 foot bright and 20 foot dim, I think. So I'll let you make the choice there.
Sure. We'll say that it's suddenly illuminated brightly at the bottom. As you send forth just a flame, it does appear sort of right there. And what kind of damage does control bonfire do? 1d6 fire, right?
1d8 fire, yeah.
1d8 fire. Okay. There's nothing to be seen at the bottom initially, right card. Again, the creatures are indistinguishable from the dam as long as they remain still. But as you let out this lick of this burst of flame, one of them begins to writhe from the crackle of the heat and the flames that come off. Go ahead and roll your d8 for damage here.
7 damage.
All right, immediately one of them lets out a shriek and then burns up in flames. It is already dead.
All right, I'm immediately gonna shut that fire off. Like, I'm not gonna hold it concentrated.
Okay. All right. So then, Alexios, you are up, right?
Yeah. All right. Was this kind of like a reaction, or could I change my plan, knowing that they're a bit weaker?
No, this
It's
would
a-
be like a
yeah.
reaction, because otherwise I have to
Reaction,
put you all in
okay.
initiative.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. Then I'll just do what I said I was going to do then. Okay. Then I will cast Moonbeam. Sorry, I need to get a 10-foot radius circle here. Sorry, I suck at doing this with D&D Beyond.
I think we all do.
All
Like
right. Oh
that,
no,
right?
it's this one. Yeah, like that exactly.
All right, where do
Yeah,
you
so
want
we
it?
can move that over. Like I probably would have tried to cast it like somewhere in the middle to hit all of them.
All right, what kind of
And
save is Moonbeam?
Constitution, please.
You guys are
I
rolling
got an
good.
18 and
Yeah,
a
these things are
21.
crazy.
All right, so they succeed, but they still take some damage as it comes down. It's 2d8 radiant.
Okay.
Halved. Oh my god.
All right.
My goodness.
Wow. Holy
Watch the
shit.
dam.
Okay.
Watch the dam.
As you call forth like this brilliant pillar of light, there is like a little bit of like a hissing, almost popping sound, like when you toss like sap-filled wood onto a flame. There's the popping and the crackling, and a slight shriek as these creatures begin to move, plainly coming to life now. All right.
All right. They don't happen to be shape changers, do they?
I don't think that these count as shape changers.
Just checking, because then they'd have disadvantage on their save. All right, so that stays up, and then if they stay, what does it say? Wait, when it enters, the creature makes a save only once per turn.
think if
When
they
it moves
end
into
a
space, or
turn.
when it enters the or when it ends the turn there. So when it enters
Yeah.
or when it ends the turn.
All right.
They're already in it.
Beacon, you were gonna throw a javelin, right?
Yes, I was. So I will do that. It's 17. I guess I'll
Right,
try
which
to
one are you
aim
trying to
for
hit?
the closer one.
This one?
This
Okay.
one. Yeah.
That hits.
Okay, cool. I will damage at 7 piercing damage.
All right. As you throw a javelin into it, now there's like basically out of the spikes, there's now a large javelin sticking out of it as well. All right. With that being said and done, I need everyone to go ahead, please.
Yay! Violence.
I forgot to click myself. Damn it.
I did
I also
too.
put myself.
As soon as you said
Change
that.
it.
So upsetting.
Either
Actually, I'm gonna roll again, but use the first one. Just forgot to click myself.
Oh, that's so smart. Wait, how do you? Oh, and then like that?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Yeah, like
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
same thing. I'll use the first one. I'm just gonna get myself on there.
Yeah.
In here.
Guys, we're so resourceful. And we actually planned an encounter before running into it. The SS could never.
Right.
We've graduated, baby girl.
You're so well.
It did not take for it. Oh wait, let me do this. Sorry. Boomer moment.
All right.
My first one was a 12. Okay, let me change that. All right.
All right. Boone, rather, you are up first. There appear to be 2 of these creatures at the bottom of this river valley.
All right. Oh, the color of my arrow is different.
Oh,
So
it's
your
your on
turn?
deck as well.
Oh, is it my turn?
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just got okay. I put my drink in the fridge because it was getting warm. Okay, I'm about like 60-ish feet above them right now.
Mhm.
Can I see any of them?
I'd say that you could definitely see them as they've both been injured by Alex as well as Beacon at this point.
Okay,
There's a
this
pillar
guy
of
over
light
here.
on them.
Okay, the spotlight. Okay, the guy up top, the blue guy. I'm gonna launch a firebolt at him.
All right, go ahead and roll the hit.
22.
22 hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
Fireball. 3 feet of fire damage.
All right.
3 feet? 3 feet? 3 points.
As you launch your firebolt in this direction, again, it lets off this like sizzling, popping sound. Again, like fresh twigs tossed on a burning campfire. It's still moving, but your attack seems to have done a significant amount of damage to it.
Okay, I'll end my turn just hovering here.
Alrighty. Alexios, you're up. Beacon on deck.
All right. Targeting the same creature that I just saw Boone hit. I think what I would like to do is I would like to cast Mind Sliver on. Oh wait, no, sorry, that is a little bit too far. I think. Yeah, no, too far. All right. So instead, what I'll do is I will cast Sorcerer's Burst. And I will choose a fire since that seems to be effective, and I will hurl a bolt of fire in that creature's direction.
All right. What's the range?
120.
Okay. Go ahead and roll the hit.
Yep. 16.
Yeah, 16 hits.
All right, and that is 4 points of fire damage.
All right. As you send a fiery bolt in its direction, or like a burst of energy, you see that it picks up a flame, and then almost like a giant stack of wood, it just begins to burn like a bonfire at the base of the dam. Anything else
All right,
on your
that's
turn,
my turn.
Alexios? Okay.
Nope,
Beacon,
that's
you're
it.
up.
Okay, I am going to try to get a bit closer. Kind of like where Rykar is, and I'm gonna aim and try to use another javelin, try to hit this one again.
All right, go ahead and roll the hit.
14?
14 hits.
Okay, sick. That will be 5 more piercing damage.
All right, it's now starting to look like a wooden pincushion, as it now has 2 javelins sticking out of it, and it has its spiky form of its own.
Yeah, that's all I'll do for this turn.
Alrighty, Rykard, you are up.
I don't want to. All right, so I'll try and do Eldritch Blast with the remaining one.
Okay, go ahead and roll the hit.
21.
That hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
6 force damage, 2 fire damage. If that makes a difference.
Okay, so as you send your Eldritch Blast in its direction, it splinters into a bunch of fragments, which then set a flame in a blaze. As the creatures all lay defeated at the bottom of this crevasse, immediately you're all aware that there is now flames where you had damaged these creatures, now licking up the bottom edge of the dam. What do you all choose to do?
pretty steep drop, right? 60 feet.
It's about 60 feet down, yeah.
I'm gonna try and quickly get down there. You know, I don't expect it to get there in, one turn, but yeah.
Okay, are you trying to use rope or anything to lower yourself down?
I don't think I got time. I'll just try and, freehand it best I can.
Are we still in
Okay.
initiative?
No, you're not. You're out of initiative now.
Okay. While Rykard tries to go down, can I use Druidcraft to create like a small cloud of rain like directly over the fire?
Let me check something about Druidcraft really fast.
You could
says,
actually
like-
just use it to snuff the fire. With fire.
No, it says a small. You can snuff out a candle, a torch, or a small campfire. But another effect it includes is a cloud of rain. I don't know, unless
Okay.
Harry rules that I could snuff
So,
it out. But...
Boone, do you want to describe what it looks like as you summon forth snuff out these flames?
Yeah, so I'm gonna hover directly above where the fire is going, and you'll see her wings start to beat faster and faster, like they're making a visible, like a audible buzzing noise now, like a cicada. And I'll put both my hands out in front of me, and she'll close her eyes, and above, like you'll see the smoke start to come up from the fires and coalesce into like a very pregnant cloud that's like it's about to start raining, and then it just comes down.
All right. So, Boone, quickly and efficiently, as Rykard begins to climb, you snuff out the flames with a burst of water. As you're sort of like slightly lower now, Boone, looking over the dam, you can also see that there are a number of like chunks of what appear to be corpses of the similar creatures at the base of the dam now that have been sort of like stippled all over the dam. You have a sense that they have like blocked it off and caused damage to the dam itself. But you know that the massive beaver could likely fix the dam in the coming days if needed. However,
I'll leave
what
it
stands
there
out to
then.
you as interesting is that there's like 20 of these like spiky blights all shoved all over the dam. Can you roll an investigation check for me, please?
Do they? Yeah, I'd like to try and look and see like if they look like they shoved themselves against the dam, or if the beaver or someone else did it.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and roll.
Investigation. 15.
Okay. Looking over the creatures in the dam, you have a sense that they willfully or willingly shove themselves against the dam. However, you have a sense that maybe the goal was to break the dam or damage it, which, should the water have been flowing, may have meant that a lot of the water probably would have flown to the town, and could have caused a significant amount of damage. One other thing that stands out to you, Boone, is that the sticky sort of sap that had been coming off of them, oddly enough, on these ones that are shoved all over the dam, spiked into it, it has a slight pinkish tinge, one that is oddly
Oh.
familiar and reminiscent of magic you've seen elsewhere on this island.
I'll fly back and I'll convey all that and about the pink. I'll say the sap that's coming out of these guys and hurting the dam, it's the same kind of like pink tinge that the frogs had, that Rowan had when you tried to cast magic in that cave-in earlier. It's the same thing.
Ixley did say that she was wielding some kind of strange magic. Maybe.
Ixley also said that people from the guild came to go see her a lot.
It is possible that she could indeed be responsible, I suppose, for all of this. But did you not say that, or didn't the lemur tell you that Craven's Bone as well was also partially responsible for this, like the island itself?
For which part?
Yeah, he said, well, no, because he said that any kind of commotion, any kind of magical excess draws attention from, like, inherent magic in the island.
Could
So
somebody
whether or
throw me a
not
rope?
Oh, sorry, Rykard.
Whether or not that's the island itself, Or if someone's imbuing it with something is another question.
It could be the island.
It could be a combination of both.
Thank you.
No problem.
The Coast Guard's hovering above him.
Yeah, those things seem like they have some like pink stuff leaking out of them.
That's crazy. Anyway, I think we should just be careful going to see that old lady is all.
I'm suspecting more and more that she may have more to do with this than thought, and it has very nefarious reasoning.
Seems like she
Maybe.
might be pretty powerful too. Ixley said that she was able to turn one creature into a horse with wings. It sounded really cool, but I didn't want to say that.
I'd like to not be a horse with wings.
Well, we should probably preserve the daylight that we have and start heading that way, yeah?
Sounds good, yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
I guess me and Rowan are.
Does anybody have
Taking
a
the lead again.
Well,
You haven't steered us wrong yet.
Anybody have a spare vial or an empty container of sorts?
no.
Have a water skin, but there's water in it.
Do we think we want to take a sample of that sap? Would that be useful?
Can you just like grab one of their arms or something?
I feel like it would corrode my water flask.
I don't really want to touch it. We can keep going. We'll probably see more upstream.
But the record does have a point. We should also keep in mind that we need to bring back a token of some sort that we have completed the job.
Oh yeah.
All right, I'll. Well, where am I supposed to put it?
Oh.
I have a tinder box, perhaps.
Oh, wait, I have a herbalism kit. Does that have a vial in it?
I
Where
think
the
it
hell did I get an
could.
herbalism kit?
As you fish through your herbalism kit, Boone, you see a
Oh,
single
'cause I'm
vial.
proficient?
Yeah, as a druid.
Yeah.
You had one too?
Well,
Okay, alright.
It doesn't say there's a vial, but here is a vial.
Okay, thank you, Harry. I will use that vial. I'll go down and I'll scoop up some of that sap and do my best to make sure all of it stays inside the vial and doesn't goop over the side of it.
All right, go ahead and roll either medicine or sleight of hand. This will just determine how skilled you are at doing this or at tapping into the roots to draw that forth.
17.
All right. You fill the vial about halfway up before it seems like the pinkish sap won't drip out any further.
I'll back up.
Appreciate you doing that. It's a lot more pink than I thought.
Here, you can hold on to it then.
I'll hold on to it. Does it smell like anything?
Roll an investigation check.
All right.
How would they sap?
12.
Smells earthy and sweet.
Okay. When they got hit with fire, did it seem like the fire particularly like clung to that sap oozy stuff?
Not particularly. It's hard to say because these creatures appear to be made out of wood, so it's hard
Yeah.
to say if, you know, it was just that they were wood or if the sap was incendiary. It's hard to say.
Okay.
All right. As you all look over the dam, having now defeated some of the creatures that were perturbing Ixley and his dam, but also seeing this odd pattern of like a littered amount of corpses of needle blights all stuck into the dam. You all decide to move forward upstream towards the old woman that Ixley had told you lives further on, who he suspects may have stolen the water whatever that may mean, from his riverbed. With that, let's end our session for tonight.
Alrighty.
Oh my goodness. Oh my god, it's 11 p.m.?
Yep.
Yeah, that really flew by.
I didn't even realize
wow.
that.
I'm scared of the
Nice
Harry,
job,
that was
team.
wonderful. Wait, you're telling me some people get to go wrestle an alligator and we have to fucking uncover a whole conspiracy with this bitch in the woods? I hate it here.
I wonder what the tea is. Ixley does not like her.
I like this
I'm
beaver. I
interested.
trust him.
Me too.
I do too. I trust all animals.
True.
All animals?
What about the evil
All
animals?
Oh, what about
It's
mosquitoes?
no such
Oh,
thing.
Animable.
amdables.
Nice job, team. Good teamwork.
We kind of ate that. We kind of ate that.
Guys, why are we like
Yeah.
together so much better than we ever did in the past 5 years?
For real.
I was scared.
Is
Boone and
Craig still
White Cloud were
going?
about to beat each other up. Oh yeah.
Well,
Bye, recording.
Bye, Craig.
recording.
bye, Craig.
Call for
Bye,
Craig.
Craig.